Okay, hello, and welcome to Code with NM. Today is Sunday morning. I hope you all are excited for Fast API in Python. And before starting, I just want you all to comment Fast API. Also, if you already worked on Flask or Request, like in basic Python, how we create APIs, are you all aware of that? Just comment that in the live chat, and then we can start with the Fast API. From here, if you already know the APIs or other things, I will be uh, doing it from scratch, explaining it from the scratch, everything, because that is much more important for you all to understand what is API, what is data, how request handlers, and other thing, what is CRUD operation in the world of web, in the world of APIs is. So if you are aware of APIs, it's good. If you are not, then we will learn it today itself. So I'm waiting for you all comment in the live chat, and then I will start with the fast API. And I hope this Sunday will be a meaningful one for you all, because we are learning. Hi, good morning. Good morning, Shashank. And your project was wonderful, and I've sent you the detailed report about your project. And also, I saw your new message in the morning, and won't get the time to reply on the Discord. After this live, I will be replying you, or else I can reply you just now. The experiment you are doing is very good, but can you make that program a user-friendly one? Because you already had a hard-coded value of ABC and 123. This is out of context for everyone, so let me give you some context over it. So, my learners, they usually just like to do experiments in codes and real projects in real life, and they like to send me on Discord for the review and other stuff. So I just go through their projects and do a detailed review, and then I provide a feedback and what can they enhance in their projects or their experiments. Okay, so Sashank, it's just for you. Just make it user friendly. The hard coded value that's doesn't go any well over there. It's like you are already giving 1 2 3 and ABC. Can you make it hard coded and also do an exceptional handling? For an example, if I try to give 1 2 3 4 5 and ABC, it should raise an exception. Okay. Okay. Let's start with our today's topic. It's very important in the world of software engineering. You should know about what is APIs all about, and then we will come to the what is fast API. In my previous life, I already talked about the APIs and JSON and other stuff. If you are not aware of those things, you can watch that live. It's and go to the Code with an M playlist, and you can find the playlist there itself, and it's the #7 video. I just name my all the playlists as #1, starting from the data, what are the variables and installation of Python and VS Code, up till now #8. We are in the world of APIs. So I will be again talking about the APIs, but not as I've already talked in the previous life. This is will be completely associated with the fast API itself, and why from last 2 to 3 years, why fast API in Python is much more important, why it is trending now, why the MNCs like Microsoft, Uber, Netflix, Cisco, and on and on and on. I can name them on and on. Why it is so much important now in the MNCs, and why the skill set is important. Why knowing fast API is important. This is the most important thing you should know before jumping in directly into the fast API and gets an hands-on knowledge. So why it is important? Let's talk about this. Why it is important. Anyone else already know about fast API can uh, just type in the comment section, and it's good. Or else you are not sure what is fast API itself. So first, what is API? So there is a system. There is a system like your system itself. It's a local system to you. But when you connect to internet, the browser, the world itself, then all the things you do For example, like you're subscribing code with nm, or you're liking my comment, or you commenting anything on my live videos or my offline videos or in my shorts, or anything you're downloading from internet, it's all behind the scene, it's all because of APIs. Then first thing first, what is the full form of APIs? Just comment it fast. It's very simple, very basic. In previous life, many of you have answered this already. What is API itself, the full form of API? Because in today's video, what is the roadmap? We will be learning about fast APIs, why API is important, what is fast API, why it is trending, then what is Postman, then what are the servers, why we need servers, then what is data, then what are CRUD operations, then how to perform that CRUD operation using fast API in Python. This all we are going to see in this live. So it is a very long and important one. So make sure you just have this interaction one-on-one and very fast. If you know it, what is the full form of fast API or API itself, that's the comment in the live chat, or else I just tell you the straight away the full form of it. Okay, no? Okay, the full form of API is okay, application programming deficit. Yeah, just I was just going to reveal it and someone just commented. Yes, of course it's right, and a clap for you. And the API full form is application programming interface. Okay, let's not focus on the full form itself. Let's focus on what API itself do. So API, let's take an example, like I've already told you in my previous live. Let's take an example of a restaurant. There is a restaurant, you go for a lunch or dinner or anything else, high tea, and there you don't directly order to the kitchen. Yes, we never used to do it. Yeah, we don't approach to the kitchen and directly order what we required. What we do, there is a waiter who comes to us, and then from the menu we order what are the things we required, and that waiter is responsible to take our order to the kitchen, and from that kitchen he will take our order and give it us to on our table. Okay, this is the real case scenario. Okay, now let's convert into our API. You yourself is your local system, means your computer, laptop, or whatever you're using, your mobile devices. Now the waiter itself is the API. So you are the one who requests something from the internet. For example, if you search youtube.com, so your waiter will go to the server, which is internet, and then search for youtube.com, and then in response the server will give a response the youtube.com page itself, and it's bring the waiter, means the API will bring the response to you, means on your browser, and then youtube.com opens. API is a set of rules that allows different software programs to communicate and share data with each other. Of course, yes, you are 100% correct, and clap for you. But this type of code definition won't be understandable to the beginners who are starting with the API journey. That's why I need to take real case scenario examples where people can connect with each other, and uh, everyone in once in a life at least we went to the restaurants or the places where we love to eat, and there is an ordering system with the waiters. So okay, if you got this, so the waiter is the API, you as your local system, your mobile, laptop, or computer, and server itself is the kitchen. Now what is server? Server is a combination of computers. What is server means? For example, you have 4 to 5 laptops, you just connect with them, there is an intelligence to it. Intelligence means if there is a request, there will be a response. If there is a request, that means I am requesting something from my computer. Just a very basic or easiest example is you're double clicking on a file. There is a file like a text file or a image or something, video or movies in your system. You double click on it, means your request is you're double clicking on that file. What that double click means, you are trying to open that file. What your operating system do, it might be in Linux doesn't have an this mouse and everything. So let's take Mac or Windows. So if you double click on a file, it will open it. That opening of the file was the response of your system to you. Simply understood, what is request and response? I'm requesting something, whatever it can be. I'm requesting a web page like youtube.com, Instagram, Facebook, Netflix, XYZ. This is the request I'm doing. Means in Google, I'm typing Netflix and hitting enter. And Google will bring back a response of the links, all the links related to Netflix. Okay, understood? This is the request and response. Why this is important? Because in the world of API, first we deal with request and response. Now the response I'm talking about is the Netflix or the YouTube or Instagram and whatever it may be. The response is ultimately the data itself. You're saying it is a web page or anything else, but for a server it is a data itself. For example, you're clicking something. Yeah, sir. Ubuntu have GUI. Yeah, but I usually use Linux, and I've used different flavors of Linux, which I only likes to operate with CMD, like command line interface. Okay, that's off topic. We're just clearing the. I don't use Ubuntu. Use Red Hat or other things, but I don't like to use GUI over there. If you want to use GUI, that's why can't we use Mac OS or Windows OS? But for Linux, it's like for programmers, like use keyboards and different commands you need to by hearted. Okay, so hope you understand what is API, what does API, the role of the API is, and what is the request which we are as end user sending it to the internet, and then API is the one who responsible to bring the response. Now response can be in a different data form. The one data form I already talked about is the website or the web page like YouTube, Netflix. What will be the other data forms? Like image, if you're searching for an image, if you're searching or downloading a movie, there are ample of examples of different types of data. Anything on the internet, if you are trying to request to the internet, for example, if you're trying to in today's world, we usually, I think I've seen many of the students and learners, they usually direct Google chat GPTs or Gemini and anything, and then they go and ask something to it, and you are just understanding that I am chatting with the AI, but that AI is recording your data behind the scene, whatever you are, maybe just debugging the code or creating a code or your personal life, because now AI is the first go-to friend for everyone. For me also, if I got stuck, I don't get stuck on codes. I'm good at software engineering and coding and programming, but sometimes I stuck with different things in real world. So now is the tendency have changed. I don't Google. Before I used to Google everything to find a solution, but now the go-to thing is the AI, whatever the AI you are attached to. For example, many, this is a debatable topic. Many will debate with I love Claude, I love GPT, Gemini, and whatsoever. I think many of you don't love Gemini. Okay, so let's create the first file and let's see what is the code and everything is all about of fast API. Now there was a short before this live. I've released it yesterday talking about why fast API. See, you can create APIs in Python using the basic Python request method, of course. The second is the Flask, and the third one is this is the latest one, fast API. Now why fast API? So one of the important thing is fast API creates your documentation. What is documentation? So you're working as a backend engineer. You're working as a backend engineer. The major role of a backend engineer first is to create the APIs and other stuffs. Why APIs? Because the API is responsible to just communicate from your front end to backend. Your backend is the server itself, and then backend communicates with the database. That is a separate story. In this live, we will be creating a local database. For example, like student.json, this will be our the database file. In next live, so there will be a three part for this fast API. I've divided into the three parts. The first part is majorly to understand what is API, then what is fast API, then what is CRUD operation, and there is a local storage like student.json. In second, we will be creating a real database which will be a MongoDB, and then we will connecting our this APIs and servers to MongoDB. And in third, we will be actually converting this two into a real world projects, and there is a project structure also. In real world, you can't just go and directly create main.py, app.py, and you work on there should be a proper routing, and there should be a proper tokenization for the security and everything. There is a JWT token and XYZ. We will be seeing those things in the third live. I just don't want to bombard everything with you in this live only, because our main goal is to learn and understand things, not to rush to learn everything and then jump onto the next topic. Rushing in learning won't get you anywhere. So let's understand it part by part, piece by piece. Okay, so for now sake, I'm just creating a main.py. This will be the only one file, and communicating with everything, and every code will be lying over here. Okay, uh, before that anyone has knowledge over what is get, post, update, delete in Python or in any of the programming language, because these are same in all the programming language? Just comment yes or no, because I will be jumping into those part. I'm waiting. Yes, sir. There are methods. Yes. Yes, with the method also you can achieve this thing, but the fast API, that's why its name is only fast API. It's lightning fast. If you just after learning fast API, and if you already aware of Flask API, Flask and fast, this two just have a two different VS code, or else you can do it in a same VS code also, do a different project, one based on a Flask and one based on a fast API, and just hit the APIs from the Postman. I will just teach you what is Postman and everything in this live only itself, if you are not aware of the Postman and how to use it. So I'm just saying that those who already know about the APIs and already done few projects on it, just hit the Postman, two different call, post call or get call or anything else you want, and just record the time for the fast API and Flask API. Fast API is much more faster as compared to Flask and request method you are talking about in Python. Okay. Okay. Before jumping into it, we need to install the fast API in our system. So to install it, you need to open your terminal. So let me close it. If you want to open the terminal in VS Code, there is a this three dot on the top. So let me, here is a three dot on the top, and you can go and terminal. There is also a shortcut, Control Shift and the tick, which is a button left side, just left beside of your one in the keyboard. So I'm just use the command to open it. You can do it. We will be going slow because we need to learn few things over here. And then there is a command. I will be pinging that command in the live chat if you're doing with me. Let's install it. So it's pip install. Let me quickly add that. It's pip install fast API, and I've already have in my system, so it will say the requirements is already fulfilled, but for a life sake I'm doing it again. So the command is, let me zoom in a bit, hope it is visible now. It's pip install fast API uv cron. So just hit enter and just wait for a few seconds. For in my case it will say it's, I have already have this, so it will say requirement already satisfied, if you see. Okay. And if you're using the older version, it will be upgrade to the new version or ask you to upgrade it to the new version, but I don't want to go jump to the new version. Once your thing is done, let's clear the terminal itself. CLS is for clearing the terminal. Okay. And let me pin this command also. I just pinned the command. Now let understand this command first. Let's understand this command first. It has two things. First thing is fast API itself. Now what is UV cron? This is important. What is UV cron? First is fast API itself, because we are going to create our APIs using fast API. That's why we have done pip install fast API. Now what is UV cron here? This is the important thing. Anyone knows about UV cron, just comment it, or else I will explain you in a second. Okay. Hope if everyone is working on FastAPI and started today itself, nobody will be aware of what is UV cron means. It's nothing but a server. It's nothing but a server. There is a name of a server, but first understand ASGI is the name of the server. But first understand this is a server. Now, why we required a server? Without server, without this is our local server. Okay, first thing first, there are n number of types of server are there out there, but let's break down into very simplest thing. The simplest thing is there are two types of server. First server is the online server itself. Okay, and the second server is the local server itself. So this UV cron creates a local server in your system. It's running behind the scene once we execute our main.py with the code of FastAPI. Okay, why it is required to run or execute any API? We need a server. On that server, our API runs. On that server, our API runs. Now, again, what is server? Server is nothing but a set of computers which can handle request and provide a response. This is the easiest definition of a server. Hope up till here this is clear. Just for right now, just understand this UV cron as a server itself. Okay, so nothing more complicated. I don't want to make it much more complicated because there are other stuffs also, but there are three part of this, and I will be just digging deeper once we understand few stuffs. Okay, okay. Now let's start with the code. uh, Hope my screen is properly visible to you all. Okay, so first thing first, from FastAPI. Okay, and we need to import FastAPI. Simple. Then also let's check the color. If the color is changing into the green, means you are perfectly coding, right? It's just for your if you're new to the Python, is uh, that's why I'm saying it. Okay, and done. This was the simple. From FastAPI, import FastAPI. And I've already explained how this works and what is this in my module and package in my previous live. So make sure you go and visit it. And also we will work with JSON. So we need to have JSON here. So it's simply import JSON itself. And then we need to create an app. So this is the variable name app. And then we need to say FastAPI, which we already have here. And here also you can give the title. So for time being, let's give a title to your complete application. This is your backend application, means all the APIs we are going to create is a backend. It's known as backend application. What is front end application? The UI of it. For example, you create your front end application React or Angular or basic HTML, CSS, or using JavaScript. That is known as front end application, means front end app. This is back end application. What it consists of? It will consist of server, it can consist of APIs, it will consist of communicating with databases. This is known as a complete back end application, but for time being we are creating only APIs, so it's a normal back end application. Okay, and let's name it FastAPI itself, or else learning FastAPI. Okay, done. Up till now, is there any doubt? You can, meantime you can comment it, and I will be just creating the codes and explaining to you side by side. So let's create our local DB also. So the local DB, we will have student dot JSON. So this will be acting as our local DB, and we will have few data inside it. So we have successfully created the local DB. It's nothing but I've just clicked on the new file over here, and then just name it as student.json, and our local JSON file has been created. As simple as that. That's nothing rocket science in it. I'm purposely going slow, so for you all, if you're doing with me, or else you are understanding it live, then you can get it. Okay. Okay, so let's create the JSON student.json. So it's array. Don't mix with the Python list and dictionary that I have already explained you in my previous life. This is JSON. It will be a array of objects. So this is my one object, this is my second object. Okay, understood? This is an array of object. In Python, it is a nested dictionary inside list. This is dictionary in Python, this is dictionary in Python, this is nested dictionary, means a dictionary can have another dictionary inside it, and the box bracket represent list in Python. Okay, hope this is clear, because this is much more important. The structure is much more important if you're working with the database. So let's have an ID, and let's have a name and other things. Okay, so instead of doing it this way, what I have planned is, once I will explain you all the CRUD operations, and then we'll do a real world project. But let's jump into the real world project itself, and also with the real world project we will understand the code itself. So let's create ID1, and this should be name, and the project itself, we have started this Python journey with codewithnm institute real world project, that we are creating an institute in real time. So what all things is required to creating an institute online, and what are the admission forms and other stuffs. Okay, so the the thing was, I took the example as Rahul and Priya, and of course the interested course they are in. So Rahul was interested in Python. Okay, so this was the first name, course, and ID we have created. This is the first data in our database, and second we will be creating the same. So in this I will be going a bit fast for typing, and this will be Priya, and Priya was interested in, I think Priya was interested in data science, SCINC. Okay, done. So this two data we have created. One Rahul and interested in Python course, and second is a Priya interested in data science, and we need to understand the data, means this is a in Python, of course. This is the list, and inside list we have two dictionaries. Okay, let's save it, and right now we don't require it because we already seen the how it is. Now we need to import student over here. So how we can import student .json file in our main file? It's very simple. Just comment how to import it. If you're saying we can use directly import and this stuff, or we can use file handling and open the file over here. Okay, so as it is our local DB, I'm naming it as DB. I'm naming it as DB, and then we need to say path, and path is the inbuilt method of Python. So we need to import path also. I will explain you this in a bit. Let me just import this file, student.json. And what is the thing we are missing? Why the double quotes is required? See, I know many of you will not just follow codewithnm, but also follow the other YouTube channel to learn. But I'm not sure how others are teaching. See, very simplest thing is very much important over here. Why? The student.json is giving us an yellow underline, and why path? So path is, we understand this is not imported. This is an inbuilt library of Python, and we have not imported it. Okay, but why the student.json is giving us underline? Because any file name, this is a file name. Student.json ultimately is our local DB, but it's a file name, and any file name is by default in Python is a string. It is a string. So every string in Python should go inside single quotes or double quotes. Understood this? Yes, Shashank, you commented it right. It should be double quotes. But why it should be double quotes? We need to understand this also. Okay, I hope you all understand this. Okay, and the pathlib import. So sorry, from pathlib we need to import path. This should be from, and this is how you import path. Why we need to import path? Right now there is a folder name as FastAPI, and inside that FastAPI I have main.py and student.json, but in real time we don't have our DB in the same location, so we need to provide the proper path. For your understanding, the path can be C user slash me slash student.json or C downloads, but in real world this won't be the actual path. So we literally required the path to get those path in here. and also what the path does. I have sent you one doubt of #7 series on live on Discord. Okay, after this live, I will be seeing your doubts and codes, and we will be answering it. Okay, no worries about that. Okay. Anyone knows what importance this path holds? As comment in the live chat. If not, if you are not just aware, once you have the VS Code, and I've just already told you how to install the Python in VS Code in your system. So you just need to have the cursor, your mouse cursor over it, and Python itself will explain you what important it holds. For right now, if you say, it says pure path subclass that makes system calls. It's basically just it finds that actual complete path for this student.json. Means what this import library, this pathlib means this path will do for you. It's nothing but you just need to say student.json. Now this is the responsible function who goes and find the student.json, and behind the scene it will add the exact address like c colon user download whatsoever the path is. So your job is simplified, you just need to pass the file name. Okay, so if you don't know about any functions I'm using here, just have this code and just have the cursor. You will understand what is this all about. And also the VS Code provides you the link, so you can go on to the link and understand it deeply. But I will explain you in briefly, because in live I can't go and explain each and every terms, because today live is focus about API itself. Okay. I love to work in class, and objects and everything should be oriented. Let's create that. But before creating that, let's quickly verify that okay, we have imported fast API, we are working with the JSON. Why path was required, I understood. I also created an app, because fast API should we need to call that function on a variable, and generally in real world also we call that variable app itself. Okay, now let's see one API itself. Path gives the location of the file. Yes, perfect. It gives the location, but it does not give it. It will bring the location and it will pass it to the Python interpreter. That's why we are not getting any error for the student.json. If I just move this file also from here, it will get it. If and only if your Python has an complete access to your system. If the Python won't have it, then path also won't have it. Okay, understand this, or else you will try in your system and you will say he has thought it on the live that this will get any of the location, but I am getting an error. The error is because you have not allowed your Python to access your system, of course. Okay, so for that, don't place any of your code into C drive, just place it into any other drives. This is a hack to not get a simple error. Okay, so first thing first, before jumping onto anything, we need to load the all the data from the JSON into our this main.py. Why we need to do it? Because our file is in a JSON format, and Python won't understand JSON format. Python only understand collections, which is list, dictionary, tuple, sets, but we deal with list and dictionary. So how we can load the data which is in the JSON format into Python and convert it to? So how you can do it, we have already seen the previous live, but I will do it again. So I will create a function and saying def load students. Okay, and then what we need to do first, we need to check if your DB exists or not. This is the real world project I'm doing, the real world. That's why we need to have each and every scenario. I can directly load the student because I know the student.json exists, but we need to handle each and every scenario. So first thing first, we need to check if everything is inside the DB. The line number 6, if you see, the line number 6 has a variable DB, and this DB holds all the data of student.json. That's why it's very easy to create a variable and use it. So we say if DB means our database, our local database doesn't exist, we need to check it. So if not DB, this is the easiest way to do it. I just like to simplify the code, or else there is other way also, you can do it to complex it, but I like to do it in very bare minimum line of code. Okay, so if not means if DB doesn't exist, what we need to do it, we need to write, means we need to create that DB. If DB doesn't exist, we need to create. For example, like student.json doesn't exist, then we need to create our DB first. Okay, so that's why this is important. So write underscore text, we are adding something to it, and that is an empty list. In JSON format, it is an empty array, but for in Python, it is an empty list. Why empty? Because we don't want to add any arbitrary value initially. We just want that our DB, if DB doesn't exist, create that file, and inside that file, we should have an and open and close box bracket, means an open and close list, or in Python it lists, in JSON it is an array. Understood? What write do it, if there is, if the file doesn't exist, it will create that file and have some data inside it. If you want, you can add something inside. For example, if I want to have, now what it will do, it will create, and this should be like this. Then there should be a proper formatting to do this. If you want, if you want to work with, and let me have this inside. Okay, so, and also, and you can also work with, like, we can have this entire data here, but I don't want to complicate it. Just understand it, while creating the new file, you always should have this boxes inside the file, or else it is not in JSON file. It is not in JSON file. You can have the dictionary inside the list, and it will have a proper structure of a JSON, but I don't want to complicate it right here, right now. Okay, up till here, any doubt? If not, let me just complete the code. And if the file exists, simply here we are checking. If the file doesn't exist, create that file with an empty array or empty list. What will be the second scenario? Means the file is existing. If the file is existing, let's open it and access this data. So the file name is itself is DB, because it's holding all the data, and I want to open it into the read mode, and as file. And we have already seen this type of code, but if you don't want to complicate it, let's say as if. Okay, so let's be lazy today and just have a few short things. And json.load, and what json.load will do, you already know it. It will convert all the, it will convert all the JSON file into list and dictionary. Okay, so this is our basic code. Basic code. First, it's what will do, it will check if this a DB exists. If it doesn't exist, it will create it. If it exists, then it will jump on to this line number 11, open the DB into read mode, and load all the content of the DB in as an F, means all the content of the DB is now loaded into F variable. You can name it whatever you want. I just name it file, and just rename it as F. And then json.load will convert that JSON data into list and dictionary format. Up till now it is clear. Just give me a thumbs up. Yes, because next step is we are going to create our first API. First one will be, I will be creating a very simple one, and the second one will be actually loading the data from our student.json. So first give me a thumbs up, and then I will be jumping on to creating our first API. And there is a format to create it also of this def. So I will explain you in few seconds. Also, meantime, just I'm curious to know the people who are joined the live, is it raining at your place? Also, I stay and belong here, and born and brought up in Mumbai, and it's heavily raining here from past 10 days. So is the same, the monsoon is there over in your city, your state, your country? So just ping yes or no. And okay. Meantime you're pinging, let's continue. And this is the first thing in the CRUD operation we are going to learn is about read. It's about read. So what is read? CRUD, the full form of CRUD, CRUD, CRUD. So let for y'all sake, for to understand it easily, I just created one image. Let me bring that image here. If it's visible on the screen, and let me, yeah. So CRUD, this is important for API. So CRUD is create, read, update, and delete. What is CRUD? It is create, read, update, and delete. Now, why it is important? First thing first, what is read? Reading any data from DB, reading any data from DB, and that's what we are going to learn. Then second is creating, and third is updating and deleting. And this CRUD operation we perform with the help of APIs. So reading, what does read means? Read means we are requesting some file, some image, some video from the server, and then API goes to the server and it will tell the server that the user, that we are, ultimately we are the user, we are using a laptop system and anything else, we are requesting something. So that request in the CRUD operation known as read, and in programming it's known as get call. In programming it's known as get call. So let's see our first get call. So to do it we need to use app. So @app dot get. Now in my shorts, in my previous short I have asked what this means, what this @app dot get means. And I've seen few of them you replied and there was 3 option. Right now I'm just doing it totally dry. Okay. Hopes soon monsoon will hit over. Which city and state you are from? So what is dot get means? For example, it is a function, it is a module, or it is a decorator. There is 3 things, out of which one is a right answer, correct answer. So what this app dot get is? It's a function, or it's a module, or it's a decorator. This was a question I've asked in my shorts. So meantime you answer it, I just complete my code, and let's see who can answer this. Let me switch to live chat also to see your answers. Okay. And let's simply say welcome to code with nm. That's it. I don't want to. Okay, cool. Soon it will be monsoon over there, Shashank. Let's save it. And yes, the answer is, it's known as the @app dot get is known as decorator. It is a decorator. Bangalore, it's raining here too. Okay, people are joining from Bangalore, people are joining from Uttar Pradesh. We can see the message if we run the server. Yes, your so Shashank moved on to the later part. Once we execute this, he's saying that we will see the message. But yeah, but we need to understand the component of this 3 lines also. First thing first, what is this? This is the decorator. This @app dot get is decorator. Decorator is important to know the API, that which type of method or call the user are making. For example, here it is a get call. This is known as get. What get will do? Get will request some certain form of information from internet, server, or browser. Okay, so what get will do? Get will request some type of information, and in response they will get that type of information. Or if that information doesn't exist, then you will get a 404 error, which is file not found. In short, that data doesn't found. Okay, so this is known as decorator, and there are four types of decorator. There are more, but I'm just explaining you there are four types of decorator we will be seeing in this live. First is get, which is ultimately read. Second is create, which is ultimately post call. Third is update in CRUD. Third is update. Here in API it means put call, and the fourth one in CRUD is delete, and here in API also it is delete call only. Okay, so we will be seeing one by one, but first understand this. Okay, so this is decorator, and this get function is a parameterize. What is a parameter of this get? It's nothing but what type of URL or endpoint you want to hit. This is my endpoint. For example, it can be slash users, it can be students, or else it can be slash youtube.com. This can be my endpoint. This slash is known slash, and anything after it is known as endpoint. Let me just have a comment over it. Endpoint. Then what is URL? What is URL? URL is nothing but domain plus endpoint. URL is nothing but domain plus endpoint. So what is domain? www.google.com is the domain. Slash, if you're searching YouTube on Google, from Google if you type YouTube, so slash YouTube will be endpoint. Understood? The slash YouTube is an endpoint, and this is domain, and this completely known as URL. Yes, DNS, but I don't want to go into the networking part here. Just understand this. Okay, www.google.com is the domain itself. This is the domain, and this is the endpoint. So for us, endpoint is important. Endpoint is important. For here, this is my basic endpoint. Basic means the slash means coming to your home page. What is home page? For any website, website has an home page, about page, dashboard, XYZ. So what will be the URL, the endpoint of the dashboard? That will be slash dashboard. Let's take one real example itself to understand it better. So let me just have my website only, and let me bring here if the website is visible. Okay, so not sure you can see. Okay, my website domain is codewithnm.com. This is my website domain. That slash means, that get slash means nothing but it will take me to codewithnm.com only. For example, if I click on to quiz, now the endpoint is slash quiz. The endpoint is slash quiz. Let me check to VS Code. Okay, let's understand here. Comment. Okay, so this is my domain, codewithnm. This is my domain, and slash quizzes is nothing but my endpoint which we pass over here to create this. Okay, to create endpoint we need to pass slash quizzes, and we need to have the other logics also in the place. We will be seeing when we are going to create our own endpoints also, means our own API. It's nothing and this is my domain. So what this slash means? Slash means nothing after it. Slash means nothing after it. If there is nothing after it, ultimately what it will load? It will load this only. This app.get will has only slash in the place. Means we are passing only slash. That means it will ultimately load this only. I hope you understand this. Now let's execute it and see the output. Let's save it. And now how to execute FastAPI? You just can't directly have Python and the name of the file is main.py. Usually how we do, we say Python and the name of the file is main.py. You can't execute like this. There is a proper command to execute FastAPI. If anyone knows without googling it, just tell me, or else I am just typing here UV-cron come into the picture, because I've already told FastAPI needs a server. There is a local server also. We have a local server that being installed with the FastAPI. So UV-cron, and then we need to tell the file. So our file name is main. I'm not randomly typing anything over here in the terminal. Just UV-cron is the command, because sorry, it should be UV-cron, not Unicron. Let me UV I'm just obsessed with Transformer and Optimus Prime and Decepticons and other things. Okay. So UV so UV is the command, and the file name that it comes file name. Our file name is main. Inside main, we have app. We have created our app for our fast API. So we need to pass this app, and this is the command you need to understand. For you also, app will be the same, but the file name will be different. For example, you have my first Python code. So or else you will have a app.py. So you just name UVcron app over here. The file name should come first. Okay. After file name, it should be colon, and inside this file, this colon means inside this main.py, and go and find app. Understood? Go and find app, and then hyphen reload, and just hit it. So it will detect such changes and other things, and then start, and it will give you the port. This is our port, means in localhost, this is our domain. This is our domain. So the domain is 127.0.0.1 8000, and let's execute this in our browser. But ultimately we won't working with the browser. This is my first API for you all we have created, so that's why I'm executing in the browser. But as a backend engineer, you all should always work on Postman. Always work on Postman. So after this, I will be introducing you all to the Postman itself. But for now sake, let's execute this in a browser itself. Okay. Let me just open the browser and let's paste it. And we have created slash. So let me enter that slash over here, slash, and hit enter. And just zoom in a bit, and let's say pretty print. So it will just have a proper display format, and let's understand the output is nothing but a message, and it says welcome to code with an M. That's what we have coded here. If you see, that's what we have coded. We have same message, welcome to code with an M. Now why can't we directly use a written message? Why we are using def in Python means creating your own function. So without function, the decorator won't work. So if you're using decorators, for example, @app.get, post, update, delete, anything else, you need to have function inside it. This is a function in Python. Def is the keyword to create a function. I hope the simple our first API, we have created our first get API is we have created successfully and seen the output. Output is nothing but what we are returning here in the curly braces. Understood? This is the easiest one, very simplest one. Next, we will be ultimately going to create the get, and we need to our agenda is to get all the data from our database and then display it on the browser or in the Postman. But I will love to do it in the Postman. So let's create for the student. Our agenda is, means our challenge or our target is to get all the data, not this two. If in future there is 3 for ID 3, ID 4, ID 10, ID dot dot dot, ID up till n, all the data should we are need to fetch. We need to get. Fetch and get is a one and the same thing. We need to get all the data from the student.json. So let's create that API. First, the decorator @app.get, and now slash won't work. We need to have a proper get call. So let's say slash student live server in VS Code. We can also use that. Yes, you can use that, but due to my screen and setting, I am not using the live server, because then there is a pop-up window over on the right side, and everything will be the cluttered, and it won't be visible and beautified on the screen. That's why I'm not using live server. I'm doing this on the browser and Postman. But again, you're talking about the live server. That's why we have installed the UVcron. If you see, it is still running. To close it, it says do Control C. To close it, it says do Control C. But it is a live server. What is the live server means? If I do any changes in my code and just hit Control S, means to save. After saving it, my running server, UVcron server, will by default trace the code and execute it if there is no error in my code. There is not a single bit of error in the code. It will execute it and generate the output. And output is nothing but create our API. Okay. And let's create our API. So now my endpoint has changed from slash to slash student. Now here is the things. We need to have the function name. So this was the just a basic example. That's why I have the home. But here we will have a proper name, and this is important because uh, randomly naming anything and then debugging your code will make it much more difficult. Okay, so get student, or else we can say get all student. Get all student, it's completely on us, but I don't want to just name it a bigger. But for your sake, if you want to name it, you can name it as get all student. Okay, so now we have name our function. Let's return. Now how we can return all the data means, return means get all the data. Return here over means is if you hitting this endpoint, that endpoint will return a response, and that response is nothing but we are typing inside the return itself. Understood? That is the return itself. Now how to get all the data? So let's remember that we have already loaded all the data here in DB. From here DB we have already loaded everything into F, and this is inside a function name as load student. So we will be using this function here and just calling that load student over here. Simple. This load student consists of everything. Now what will happen once I hit this slash student, it will come inside this function and return load student. And what is this load student is all about? It's nothing but it's check if there is a DB. If not, it will create it. If it is there a DB, it will open it, read all the data, store it into F, and then we are converting that data into list and dictionary, because Python won't understand the JSON format. Hope up till now it is clear. Up till now it is clear. Let's save it. And once I've saved, you can see it reloaded everything. That's why the hyphen reload I've used while time of just using the uvcron command, and application startup complete. So there is two things. I can hit the slash student onto the server itself, or I can do into the postman. So let's first hit in the browser, and then I will be introducing the postman and explaining to you all. Okay, so let's jump to the browser and first see the output. So everything will be same. This is our port means domain 127.0.1.8000. After 8000 you just need to have slash and type student. So I've just copied it from our decorator get on line number 18. So I've pasted it, and let's hit enter. And if you see the output, it's a bit messier. Let's hit pretty print, and you can see we are successfully getting everything from id1 Raul Python to id2 Priya. If we add new IDs also, it will successfully get all those also. So we have successfully created a real world API to get all the data from our DB, which is a local DB, and this is a local server itself and local API itself. But this is a moment of if you all learned it very well and understood it very well, this is a moment of celebration, because you have learned FastAPI. With the help of FastAPI, what is decorator, and then we have successfully retrieved all the data from our database. And this is what a job of a backend engineer in real world. But this is, we have created a very simple API, but in real world the code bit won't be a simple, because the purpose of creating those APIs won't be this simple. But this is how you do it. This is a basic structure. This is the ultimate format you need to follow on as a backend engineer on your job. Okay, so let's do it via postman also. So let me introduce what is postman to you all. And if you don't have postman in your system, just go to Google, type postman, hit enter, you will find the first link. Let me just demonstrate that also to you. So this is the browser. I'll just open Google and postman. Let me hit the postman. You will find this link. Let me zoom in a bit. Postman, this is the icon, the Pac-Man icon. The If you know about the Pac-Man game, it's like orange Pac-Man. Let's hit it, and it will ask you to sign up and everything. Just sign up, and after signing up you can download it. Once you sign up, you can just hit the try new postman, and it will download and installed. Okay, hope this is clear. if this is clear, once you have Postman in your system, let me open the Postman itself. This is how the interface of Postman is all about. There is a left side panel, and here is a create sign in account. They will ask you to sign in once you install this, and then there is a new and import. So in left side, I'm not sure if it's visible to screen or not, but let's hit this new, and it will ask multiple things over here, but we are only interested in HTTP. Why? The UV cron or any type of local or cloud servers, means online servers, works on HTTP method only. By default, if you say it's Flask, it's fast, but ultimately they are working behind the scene as HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol. This is the full form of HTTP. So let's click on it, because HTTP is the only one who works with request and response. Understood? So this type of thing will open in front of you. Here it already say get. If you click on it, you will get post, port, patch, delete, head options, but we are only interested in get. And then you need to have the URL of your API. So our API URL is nothing but 127.0.0.1:8000/student. So let's have it over here. So I will be directly copy pasting from browser, and the slash student is the endpoint yourself, and just come onto the body. Let me, it won't zoom in a bit. So there is a fourth tab known as body. Let's come on the body, and there is nothing in the body itself. That's it. And just let's hit send. We have hit send, and there is a proper beautification of it. Of course, there is a body. In the output, you can see the cookies, you can see the headers, what type of headers, and it's the time also, Sunday 5th July 26th, and the time is in the GMT format. And the server is C, the server is UV cron, we are using the UV cron server. Content length, just leave it, and content type is important, application slash JSON. We are dealing with the JSON data, so it's identify that application that we have created, and the data we are using it is in a JSON format. Yeah, Postman is same as a browser, but you can't do much more things in the browser. But you can do much more things in Postman. I will be explaining you in the next slide when we jump onto the JWT tokens and session ID, cookie IDs. This all we will be creating live here in codewithnm, because this is much more important. What is session ID? What is cookie? Why every website asks cookies before you try to access their websites or their data and XYZ. Okay, and there are other stuffs also, but I don't want to complicate here. But our focus is to learn the Postman, learn the basic fast APIs. Okay, and there are, if you see, the status code is 200. Here is a status code 200. The time took to run this API is 14 ms, which is 14 milliseconds. Okay, and the size of our data is 216 B and 216 byte, which is bare minimum. Okay, so this all information Postman provides us. It's ultimately, this all information is there on the browser itself, but you need to inspect the and go to the session and other cookies and other things and storage and other. But I don't want to do that complex thing. As a backend engineer, you should know about the Postman, and we will work on the Postman if you are working with the APIs itself. Okay, so this is how you work with Postman, as simple as that. Up till now, if there is any doubt, ask me in the live chat, or else the next part is we are jumping it. For an example, like, okay sir, you got all the data from the DB, but if I'm only interested in Priya's data or in Rahul's data, how we can with the help of APIs, how we can get the individual data? Why it is important? For example, if you're trying to log in into your email ID, with your email ID and password, can you access others email ID? Yes or no? The answer is, of course, no. You can't access others emails ID. Why? That is the thing we are going to create now. That is the thing we are going to create now. Because if Rahul tries to look into his name, or he's interested which, what are the course he's interested in, he has inputted while the time of form filling. So he was interested in Python, and he is interested in Python still now. So he just need to pass his ID. And what is ID? For in our case, it's number one, but in your case, the Insta ID will be different, your Gmail ID will be different. That is the ID. That ID makes you the individual from others. For example, like in college or in school, you have a roll numbers. The roll numbers cannot be duplicated. For example, if there is a roll number 1, there can't be two roll numbers with the same number. For example, Rahul has a roll number 10, and Priya can also have a roll number 10. That doesn't make any sense. Name can be same. There can be 3 Rahuls or 5 Priya in a same class, but there can't be same roll numbers in a same class. Okay, that's what, you can't have the same email ID or same Insta ID or same any type of ID in real world, because the bifurcation and the individuality of the data depends on the ID itself. So we will access Rahul with the help of ID. We will access Priya's data with the help of ID itself. Okay, that's what we are going to see. But meantime, if you have any doubt, just make sure to ask and clear it live only. That's what the ultimate agenda of teaching live. Or else I can just record and upload this, and then you can have the comment section and everything. But I don't like that teaching recorded videos. Teaching live means you are understanding live, you're clearing your doubt here live only. Now let's jump on to creating what I have already said, accessing the individual data with the help of IDs. So it's simple. It's very simple. Let's create it. Same the decorator, because we want to get the data with the help of ID. So up till now the decorator will be the same. Of course, everything is inside the student. So I will name it as student only. Now here that ID is the one who will which will be sent by the person who is using it. For example, end user. For example, Rahul wants to see his data, he needs to enter his roll number. In our case, it's ID, so it should be 1. So it should be in other format, and I will be explaining you in a bit once I complete the code. Meantime, let me switch to live chat and see anyone has any doubt. Okay. So this variable I've created and I've passed into double quotes will be responsible to take or ask ID from the user. Okay. I will be explaining you this all in a few seconds. Just bear with me. Meantime, if the above one is clear to get how we are getting or retrieving all the data from DB, you can just give me a thumbs up in the chat. Okay. Now we have already used this get student, so you can use get student, and let's say by ID. You can name it in this way also, or else we can name it same only, but this changes over here, because that is a different function and this is different function. The name is same, but it is inside the different decorator. That's what the change is all about. And we need to also mention the type of the ID. I will be explaining you the code, so don't go behind it. Okay, what I am coding here, and this is getting over my head. It's complicated. It's everything I will be explaining you line by line, word to word, colon to colon, dot to dot, in here in live only. So for S in load, for example, I've just for iterating, S is the represent the student. For student in load means that S is the iterable variable for my for loop for the student. And let's say if this particular ID exists, means S dot ID, and let's say student, if it exists, then return from here. I will explain you everything. Return S from here. Okay, I've got few thumbs up, means people are understanding. And race, now this is the thing, HTTP exception, because we are dealing with HTTP methods. This get, post, update, delete are the HTTP methods, nothing but. And the exception will be 404, and let's say student not found. When this will happen? When we are trying to search the ID which is not there, when we are trying to search an ID which is not there. For example, in our case, ID 1 is there, ID 2 is there, ID 3 is not there. If someone try to search the ID 3, 4, 5, 10, 100, 10,000, so it should raise an exception and say student not found. Now, why this HTTP exception is being underlined with the yellow color? Because we haven't imported the HTTP exceptions. So this HTTP exception is a part of FastAPI. So we need to import it. So from FastAPI, we are importing the FastAPI itself, and of course the HTTP exceptions we have also imported. And now if you see, the underline is gone, the color has been changed, and the code has been completed. Let's save it. And if you see, waiting for application shutdown, and then reloaded again. And then let's jump on to our Postman, and here we just need to pass the ID of, I just passed that /1. Everything was there, everything is the same, just I'm passing the ID, and let's hit send. And once you hit the send, you can see only Rahul's data is there, because ID matches. We are asking the API for a student whose ID is 1, and if it exists, the API has got us a reply, a response, which ID is 1, the name is Rahul, and the course is Python. Let's try to search for the ID 100. Let's send it. Let's see what happens. I try to search 100 and it says student not found. And if you see, the status code is also 404. So while time of creating the API, we are the one who responsible also for the status code. We need to provide the status code. Ultimately, if API is success, the status code will be 200. So you don't need to provide the status code 200 for every successful API, but we need to handle the exceptions if there any, and then you need to provide the 404. So if you try to access some page and it says 404 page not found, that means that developer of that page has handled it very beautifully. For example, like codewithnm slash dashboard slash sign in, but instead of sign in, you just have a typo, like slash and typo in the sign in sign. For example, you have just typed SIGNINN. These are the URL you try to search, and there is no URL as such, so it will say 404 page not found, because we have just dynamically handled that all the APIs, all the endpoints which exist, bring the page, bring the response, bring the data. But if there is anything apart from this set of endpoints, then just say 404 page not found, or detail not found, or data not found. Hope you understand this. Get, we have retrieved the particular individual data which we are interested. We can do for Priya also. Let's pass /2 and hit send, and you can see Priya data will come. Okay, now let's jump onto the code and understand this, how we have achieved this, and what are the things I've just coded. So first thing first, this is app.get is the decorator. Now why get? So we want to retrieve the data from DB, that's why get. Okay, and again, we already have /student, which get us all the students. So make sure you follow that trend. You just can't have it like /student and then you can create /user, then you create slash other things like your name itself only. Don't do that. You just follow this. If /student brings all the data, then just follow that nomenclature, means naming thing in the APIs. So /student and /ID. So we need a variable to take the ID as an input, then search in our JSON, means in our DB, and then if it exists, the data exists, return a response, or else we can say it doesn't exist. Okay, so that's why I've used a variable name as student underscore ID. Understood? Why it is in curly braces? Because this will act as a variable. Add more data in JSON file. Yeah, we will be adding more data in the JSON file with the help of post call, means create. In the CRUD, we will seeing C, that is stands for create, and we will be adding more and more data with the help of create. And see, if you're working with the APIs, I don't want to touch this file manually. I just want to play with the APIs and then create my own DB. That's what the uh, as being in a backend engineer, that's what the power we have. We have created an own set of APIs. Now I just need to open my Postman. I need to play around with the Postman. I don't want to touch my DB also for looking into what is inside the DB. Why? If I want to look into the DB, I just need to hit the get all student and I will get all the data inside the DB. If I am interested in only a particular student, I will hit this API. I will never open my DB itself. Understood? That's what the power of a backend engineer itself. Okay, let's understand this. Curly braces is the interpolation. If you are passing any variable into a string, you need to use curly braces. Okay, this was the explanation why the curly braces is there. Now we have created the function. It's same name only, because that is the different decorator and this is different decorator. You can use it inside here. Now I've made it parameterized because we need to take student ID as an parameter and then look for that particular ID exists in a DB or not. That's why this is passed. But again, Python by default takes string as an input. So we need to define that it should be an integer format. Means here we are converting that ID into an integer format, because in APIs also, if you pass anything, it's act as an string. So we need to convert it into our desired data type. So for my case, it is integer. Then I have created a for loop. Why for loop? Because we already know there is not one data. There can be an ample of data. There can be an n number of data. So we need to loop through each and every data. So that's why for loop. And I've created one variable named as s. And this is not an industry level variable. For your all sake, I'm not declaring the huge words like get underscore student. I can create those also. So understand this, s variable is an iterable variable which will go inside our student.json and it will try to match each and every ID. So that is the next step. So we don't want directly that our s, which is a Python variable holding an integer ID, go inside the student.json. It will be a failure. Why? The JSON and Python variable is completely in the different data type. So we already have created a def load, and here we already created that JSON into a list and dictionary format. That's why we are using here load student. Understood? Python code and Python list and collection, list and dictionary. Then here we have a condition if SID, because it's in list and inside it there is a dictionary. We can say this type of statements. We can access that ID with a list. And we are saying that fs.id means this is our database variable, and the student.id is the ID coming from the API itself. So if they both matches, return s. Understood? Now what is s? This is very important. Why we only returning s? S is holding the student data, the entire student data. But here what we are saying, if SID, that particular ID of student, matches the ID which we have passed in the API, then return S. Means this S is now only holding the individual data of that ID. Here this two line is making that magic, nothing else. If the ID matches, the S returns, and S is only holding the ID match data, not complete data. Understood? But on line number 24, it's hold each and every data. Okay. And if it finds, we return the data. If not, if there is a no, for example, SID is 3 and equals to 100. In our case, we have searched for 100, so it doesn't return this. If statement becomes false, then it will raise an exception, which is an HTTP exception, which is 404, and there should be an error message that student not found. Hope this is clear. If this is clear, give me a thumbs up, and then we can quickly jump onto the create, which is post call, post HTTP call. I'll just wait for your reply in the comment section, or else if you have any doubt, any word, any colon, any line number, just comment that line number and I will re-explain it to you all. Okay. Just I will be waiting for you all to reply. Done. No feedbacks, no reviews. This is a two-way communication. Teaching live is means learning with me in person. It's the same thing only. So if you just have the interaction two-way, then it will be much more interesting for me, because I'm uncertain that you got this topic or not. If you give me a thumbs up, then I will be okay. Yeah, you got it, and I can move on to the next part, because that is most important one. Creating the post call is the most important one. This is also an important one. Get one. We are getting the data from the server, but why this is now the most important, the create one, is now we are sending the data to the browser itself. And here what you mean by sending the data is nothing but if you are filling out any form online, if you are filling any data, creating your Gmail, creating your Instagram, this is you are the one who is sending your data to the server. Okay, so that's what we are going to see. We're just waiting for your thumbs up, and then I can quickly move on to the next topic. Okay, okay, I got it. Now you all got it, and that's very good. There is no doubt, means you are paying attention. So let's jump on to the next topic, which is create. So now what is create? In CRUD operation we have seen read. Now in CRUD operation we are jumping on to the create, and create here in HTTP is nothing but post call. Now what is post call? Now we are getting the data from the server. We have already got the all the data from our backend. Ultimately it's coming from the server itself, or a selective data from our backend with the help of ID and all. Now the post call is we are the one who is sending the data to the server. For example, if you're filling out a form, your name, your email, your birth date, your address, or XYZ. So you are the one, the end user are the one who are sending their data to the server, and then ultimately from the server it will go and store in the database. This is how it works. Okay, so now let's directly jump into the code. So the decorator is nothing but app.post. This is a post HTTP call, and I will be creating the same thing which I have already created here. I will follow the same thing, slash student. Now if we are asking a certain data from an individual, or else we can't have data from all the student. Yes, you can't have data from all the student, so we need to ask their IDs also. So there is a two-way to do it. We can directly ask here itself in the API, or else we can ask in our function. So in an example, let's see in our other things. And before that I just want to create a new user. Right now we have only two users in the place, and if you want to have three users, mean third student, fourth student, fifth student, or 10 student. For example, let takes the story to continuation. We have a code within an institute, and two students have successfully taken an admission in our institute. Now all of a sudden we got famous due to our teachings and other methods, and now hundreds of students wants to take admission into code within. So we need to have an online process, because while the offline process, hundred of students standing in the reception, it doesn't make any sense. So what you have done, you have created your website with a backend structure, and in backend structure you have created a post call, means that is ultimately a create call. And while filling up those form from the end user, which are your student, they are ultimately hitting this. They're ultimately hitting slash student. Now what is the difference between this slash student and this slash student is nothing but the decorator, the HTTP call. Here it is get, here it is post. Understood this? So let's register those 100 student, means let them fill the admission form, and behind the scene we are the one who has created these APIs, who will ultimately store all this data in our DB. Our DB means local DB student.json. So let me just quickly complete the code, and also clear. Okay, thumbs up. I'm getting the thumbs up. How YouTube live works, there is a few seconds delay sometimes. So sometimes I get the comment, live comment also in a bit. Don't worry about the code. I will explain you everything in a few seconds. Meantime, I'm coding. If there any doubt, you can ask me, or else I'm interested to hear about any good projects on Python, on any other programming language. Currently, you're doing it, or you have already done it and showcase on any other platform, or in your college among your class mentors or your friends circles and anywhere. Just I'm interested to know your projects. And don't go with the code complexity. I will be explaining you everything from line to line and scratch. Just half of the code is similar what we have already seen it. So this is known as 400 is nothing but a bad request that I will say id already exists. So I will be meantime, if I will like to share my one of the experience from my college days. Meantime, I'm coding, and that the project I have done. There was a two project I have done in my finals. One was the a spell programming language that I have created my own programming language. Of course, after understanding how compiler works and everything, once you understand how compiler works, then you can create your own programming language. And with that programming language, I mean my own programming language, I have created one IoT project which based on machine learning, and I have used Arduinos and other sensors and Wi-Fi and other things, other chipsets. So I've done that type of project in my last year. That and it was cool to spend time. It took me, I think, more than 1.5 or 2 months, more than that. The most important part was to I heavily invested 1 month on the research rather than developing. So if your research work is up to the mark, if you have done a good research, what you are doing, why you are doing, and what errors, means it's like the projection. Like I have predicted that if I'm doing a business, I will earn 1 lakh per month. So this is a projection. You can earn more than that. It's based on the performance. You can earn, of course, 80,000, 70,000, less than that. Okay, so this type of things you do while time of doing a research. Sir, how to make perfect website backend and UI and make run and share by URL like you done in the Diwali greeting time. Of course, this is what the journey is all about. First, you understand the API. This is the basic API I'm just teaching you, and it's not just basic; it's the real world API. If you rename it everything, like the student, let's change it to the Diwali customers or your customers. If you are having an online shop, just change it to the customers and everything, and have a database of the list of the products you want to sell them, and just convert into the post, update, create, delete, this type of things, and all the this is the student.json, which is on local. In my next live I will be teaching how to do it on the MongoDB, which is real database. So this all data will be going into the MongoDB, and from there we will be retrieving. So your backend or your server is ready, means your API and the server is ready. The next part is to connect this API to the React or Angular or HTML, or else you want to connect with the GUI. Then your full-fledged, your full stack project is done. We will be seeing that, and that was my ultimate goal is all about to teach first. But first thing first, we need to start it, and the hardest part is to learn the backend and the DB and the server. That's what we have come across. We are already learning API, so hardest part we are already doing it and we are understanding it. That means this is not the hardest for us now, not anymore. And the UI is very simple. This is the API I have already exposed slash student, and my ID is 127.0.1.8000. So this is my exposed API. Now I need to utilize this slash student API into my front end in React. If you know React, you can use Axios. With the help of Axios, you can consume this API, and then you need to do the beautification with the help of CSS. That's it. means displaying of the data. Right now in Postman there is no beautification. There's a direct ID and name and course, and name ID is one, name is Rahul and Python. But end user, what is the important of ID for end user? Or Gmail shows you your ID? No, he directly, or it, sorry, Gmail doesn't have any gender because it's an application. It directly shows you your name, your image, your profile photos. That's it. So that is the beautification we need to do it. So for that we need to understand the data structure. Then what are the APIs we need to create it, and after that what is server. If I am successfully using it in the Postman, then if it is working in Postman, it will work in UI, of course. So I have done with the code. There is one small uh, error it is showing, that is this save understood student. So what is this? I need to create one method over here. Why? We have already created load students, that is the responsible to load all the JSON into our Python and convert it into the list and dictionary format. But here in the post call we are going to create new student. We are taking the admissions of the new student and it should go and store into our DB. So storing means saving that student data into our DB. Our DB is nothing but student.json. So let's create this save student also. I will prefer S because there are more than one student. And let's have this function above. Every decorator will be below and all the functions will be above, because Python is the programming language which runs on interpreter, and interpreter execute line by line. So if you have this def below this post, it will fail on this line number 37, because it says this is not defined, because you have defined on the line number 39. So make sure all your functions should be above decorator. Okay, this is the many doubt people have, why I am defining all the functions and methods above, but that's why I'm doing it. Okay. So it's a nothing but let's have let's say data only. I don't want to complicate it. And ultimately we just need to save or store everything into the student dot JSON. So to store or anything, append anything, we need to use our file handling. Means open this DB. It's in our DB. Don't forget this. We have loaded all everything into our DB. So let's open DB, and we need to open into the write mode, because we need to append data to that file. Okay, and the rest of the code is same. I will be returning everything. And okay, I don't want to return anything, because for returning and to have everything we have the other URL also to get all the students. So let's just dump the data. So json.dump, sorry, what I'm typing, json.dump, and the data we need to dump is nothing but data. Here is the variable data, and where we will getting those data in line number 14 is from our function here, student. I will be explaining you this code, just bear with me with the few seconds. I need to complete the code. Now json.dump asks us, you want to dump the data. Okay, I understood it. Where you want to dump it? I want to dump into F is nothing but our DB, and DB is nothing but the student.json. Hope you understand this. And I want a beautification, that's why I will indent it by 4, means it will have this proper indentation and everything. Okay, so now let's save it. Now come to here. If you see the error is gone from here. Understood? Now let's understand this step by step, understand this line by line, or else we can execute this first and then come and understand here. I will prefer, I will make you understand this code, and then we will go to Postman and create our own things. So here what I've already explained you, that in get call we don't require the status code, because if it is success, by default it's 200, but here we required status code, and it should be 201. 201 means created successfully. 201 status code means created successfully. Okay, so this is our status code over here. Okay, let's now understand this data. And if you have any doubt or any query, just comment. Let me open my chat also here, chat window. Okay. So this is decorator. We have already seen the app.get. This is app.post. Post is post HTTP method is used when you create new data with the help of server in your the data store in your DB. And the method is same. The URL method, this is known as URL method slash student. And once this is hit and everything is good and fine, then the status code should be 201, and we are also handle the exception and there is a different status code. Okay, I've created one function, add underscore student. Okay, because we are creating new student, and we have passed students. Now what is the student, why it is giving us error? Because we need to define the student body. For example, I am just telling you, give me the data, give me the data, give me the data. You will be saying me what data you required, what type of data you will require, my name, my phone number. So you will just give me your name, direct phone number. So it doesn't make any sense. You what I want is name colon your name, phone colon your phone number, email colon your email. So that's what the structure is required. This is the structure how the student will be there. So let's create a class student, and then we will be having a base model. I will be just explaining you what is this base model is all about. Just bear with me a bit. And we have ID. Let's see our JSON. We have ID, we have name, we have course. This three data we are required from the end users. So let's have ID, and the name itself is the ID, but this should be in this way. Now it is ready, because the ID is in the left, means this is the key and this is the value. So the key is ID, the value is integer. Let's jump on to the next. The next is name, and it is str. The name is string. The other one is course. Now this is giving us an error. The yellow line indicates that you are using it, but there is something wrong with this base model. What is wrong with this base model is we need to import this, and I will explain you why I am using this base model in a bit. Just bear with me. So it comes from a Python library which known as pydentic. What is pydentic? I will just explain you. Just import base model, and it has other things also, but I'm only interested in base model. And see, the error is gone. Here everything is done. If you comes to below, the error is also gone, because now we are saying that add student, there is a variable which is a parameter of this function known as student, and the type of this variable is nothing but our class. And this class holds three things, which is it is asking for ID, it is asking for name, it is asking for course in a specific format. The format is ID is an integer and other twos are string. Up till now this is clear on line number 40 and 41. Let's proceed with, we are first we need to load everything, because we need to append the data here. Append means add the data from the line number 12. Not, we don't need to overwrite this data, because if you overwrite the data in real time, then it is a major issue in IT. And I think you already have seen those type of error that they have deleted the schemas, the table or the database completely. The people who are intern or starting, with the career in the software engineer. Okay, so first we load the data. We already have the function, we are loaded into student. Now we are checking if any, means if any particular ID matches with the ID, and for that I have used for loop. Now this line number 43, it's nothing but line number 35 and 36. Understood? Line number 43 is nothing but line number 35 and 36 I have just written in the other format of Python. If you know about ternary operators or lambda functions, so uh, it is not a lambda or ternary operators, but I'm saying it, the ternary operators makes the if and else part easy, and lambda function is we use lambda function for one line functions. If there is a complex function which is coming in the 2 3 4 lines, we can minimize it with the help of lambda functions. Easiest example, but that's not what actually lambda function is all about. But okay, so I just don't like this two lines over here, line number 35 36. I've converted it into a single line. It's nothing but the for loop s. If you see the same code here, it is load underscore student, but the student itself is holding that value. That's why I'm using that variable, and nothing but here if we are checking with the if condition. Okay, understood this? So if the id found, if the id found means id1 exists, id2 exists, then raise an exception, which is the 400 nothing but in api it is a bad request, and say that id already exists. For example, if you're trying to add a new user with the same ID or your same number, for example, you have a Rahul and Priya as your classmate in your college. Rahul has one roll number, Priya has two roll number, and you are trying to add yourself with the roll number one. It is not possible. You will get 3, 4, 5, any roll number except one or two. Okay. So in line number 45, we are saying if that exists, raise an error. If that id doesn't exist, means the user is trying to add the new id 3 or 4, then student dot append, we are using append. We don't want to override the complete database, that's why append, and student dot model dump. Everything we are doing here itself only. So we are saying append and model dump, and it will go here on line number 46, and we have created save student, which is nothing but it will come over here. Open our db means open our student.json file, and it will dump all the data in our student.json file. Understood up till here? And it will for of course end user will not get any message if this works, so we need to return a message, that message student added. Let's save it, and I hope it's not going over and above your head. Let's save it and just make a call. So if you want to leave this as it is, there is a plus sign in postman. You need to click that plus sign, and just let's change to get method to post method, and the url is the same because we are running on the same url, and this is the our url for the post call. This the domain is same, and we have created slash student. Let me open the code also. We have created the slash student. Now one thing is required is the body itself, and body requires the id name and course. Id name and course. So we need to pass this the id name and course. To pass that from the postman, we need to click on body, and here there is a raw, and raw it will, if you click on the raw, by default you will see a text. Click on that text and change it to json, because we are dealing with json. We will pass json body, and then we need to have a proper json. So the json format here is this. I will say id3 comma name colon, and let me pass my name only, and comma, and this is a valid json, and course colon, and let's say I'm interested in machine learning. Done. And now let's hit send, and you see the status code is 200, means created. 201 is 200 is successful, 201 is created, and the message is student added. Now how to check that Nilesh machine learning is added to the db? You will go to student.json. This is very naive. We can go to get call. We can directly can search with the id 3, because we have now all the apis, and let's hit it. See, id3 has been created. If not, you can remove this 3 and you can get all the students, and can also check with that. Say the last one is id3 itself, and it's properly indented because we have given the indent equals to 4. So this got all the id. Sir, add my name. Okay, of course. So let's have Shank. His actually name is Shashank Singh, and he's interested in full stack, because he always asks me about this full stack. Okay, and let's first make an error, because we already know we have id 3. Let's pass id 3 and let's generate our 400 error code. See, here it is a bad request, say 400, and in terminal it says id already exists, so we can't give Shashank as id 3. Let's give Shashank as id 4, and now it will successfully add it. Now it says 201 created and message says student added. Let's jump onto the get call and get all the detail of the student, and you can see the fourth one is the Shashank. If you want particular Shashank details, let's pass /4, because we have all the APIs now created, so it will get the id for Shashank full stack. Done. Also, if you want to verify it, you can go to your local DB, which is nothing but student.json, and you can see Shashank and everything is created. Now, why it is not showing up? Because we need to refresh it. So let me just close this. No, don't save it. Yeah, and let's see. If I saved it, it will be overwriting with those two data itself. So you can see id 3 and id 4 has been successfully added. That's why we are touching and messing with the DB, because I was closing and it was asking me to save. If I click on save, here is a pop-up that should override the DB. Overriding means the DB has id 3 and id 4, and it is saying that override with the data 1 and 2. And if you click on the override, then your 3 and 4 will be gone. So that's why in real world also nobody has access to database directly, unless if you are a lead engineer, manager and above post, you have the access. But they also have a limited access. Nobody has that direct access to the DB, because we can change anything here, and then the actual output will be the changed. Means if I change the spelling of Rahul, I can change the spelling of machine learning. Here I can make a typo error in Shashank, and that will be displayed in the API where it is been used in the UI. So I hope you understand the @post call, because this is the most important one, creating anything with the help of API. Because the next one is also one of the important. If I made a typo while time of creating Shashank's detail or my detail, then how we can just update those detail. That's why in the CRUD operation, update come into the picture. Update, and its HTTP method call is put call. Okay, so if up till post it is clear, just commented yes or a thumbs up or clear anything, and I will be jump onto the update call of the CRUD. Meantime, I will take a few seconds break. I'm waiting for your all comment or anything. If you are not clear in the post call, you can ask me right here, and let's clear it and then jump onto the next topic. And if you are new to Code with NM, make sure you subscribe to Code with NM. Here we do everything for free. Learning is free, Discord is free, sharing your source code or project and getting my review is free. Also, my suggestion is free. Uh, Creating a roadmap for you all for your career path is free. Get in touch with me is free. Everything is free. Just only one thing is required, that is your time, your efforts to create your career, your future. Okay. Okay, I can see thumbs up in the chat. So let's not spend much more time on this, and let's jump onto the update part. So before that, update. Can we update ID? That's my one question. It's a logical question. Can we update ID? Or should we allow user to update the ID? We can update the name, we can change the course, we can do, for this example only, we can change this too. But is it sensible thing to allow user to update their ID? Yes or no in the chat? Fast. Let's see who answer it well. Meantime, I just complete my code. Simply app and then HTTP method for update is put. My question is, if you didn't got in the first go, is will should I provide end user to update their ID, yes or no. For example, it's nothing but the teacher or principal of your school or college is providing you or allowing you to update your roll number. No, DB don't allow because it's a primary key for table. If you talk about the DB, and the DB is ultimately who is a backend engineer who creates the DB, and if we make that primary key, that it won't allow. But in our case, it can be changed. Yes, it can be changed. It's not in the DB, it's just a JSON file. It can be changed. So we need to stop it, that nobody can access the ID. If you can't access it, you can't change it or update it. Understood what I told just now? If you can't access anything, you can't change anything. For example, my room is neat and tidier, and I just logged my room with a lock, and I never provide a key to that room to you. You won't be able to access my room. If you won't be able to access my room, you won't be able to touch my stuff and make my room messier. That's what we need to create to stop updating the ID from the end user, because end user can do anything. Yes, if you Google give you access to YouTube, or Google give you access to uh, Google search, then we can do n number of shit things over there. Yes, that's why we don't have access to multiple things on online world. We have a limited access to few things. Okay, let me complete the code, and meantime I'm just seeing the live chat if you have any doubt or anything else. And of course, make sure you join the Discord. My Discord link I will be sharing you once I complete the code. Why to join the Discord? There is a ultimate POC, point of contact towards me, because it's difficult for me to check Instagram and reply each and every one of you back. And of course, if few of you are emailing me on codewithnm.com, it's very difficult to jump on multiple platforms and answer to each and every one. So that's why I've created Discord, and it is a ultimate POC. There you can connect with me, you can chat with me, you can share your code, not just with me. There is a Code with NM family. You can connect with among yourself, and you can do whatever you want to do there. But of course, whatever means in the world of software engineering, here in the family, we are there to learn and grow together. I've already started communicating with many of you on Discord. First is Shashank, and there is Trishan, and other also are there. So they just share their codes and everything, and then they ask me to review. They are doing very cool project. That one of the project that Shashank has done was to create its own sticky notes with the help of Python and Python GUI. And I love that project. On the beginner level, he is doing very great. He is already above the normal Python beginners. So that's good, the project he is doing. And I've already given a detailed level of feedback to him that he can do and implement those stuffs to get his project onto the next level. So any one of you are interested to work in an environment, there is an environment we have created over there, and share your codes and everything, because right now you are learning alone. Right now you are sitting on a system or sitting in front of phone and learning alone. But in MNCs this won't work. We are the part of team. There is a team of 20, 25, 15, 10, depending on the what type of company or product you are in. And there we need to work on a team. So this is a phase 3. I've started with the phase 3 of my Python development backend series, and in this phase 3, uh, uh, this is the first part, fast APIs. We are understanding APIs, fast APIs. The second part is the learning MongoDB. The third part will be the proper folder structures and everything like MNCs followed, and in that third part only we will be learning about the MongoDB. We will be learning about the GitHubs and Git. After learning Git and GitHubs, you can all do a project uh, with each other, involving each others. and that will be a much more helpful for you all. Why it is helpful? Because might some of the ideas that I have in my mind but others not, and some of the ideas others have in their mind but I do not, and working in the group will help me grow much more faster. Because ultimately we will be learning majority of the things, but up till then we have lost our time. And of course in the MNCs, after working 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, you will be learning many things. But if you are a part of a community, if you're part of a community, there you will be learning from your experience or your juniors or the people those who holds the experience like you only. So it's good to be a part of a community and share your projects and codes with each other. Okay, I'm done with the code. I'm done with the code. No one talk. Yes. So this is the part, Shashank. So majority of time, what I see is people hesitate to communicate with each other. It's not about they don't want to communicate, but they want to communicate, but they hesitate that. For an example, like they will think that guy knows more than me, that guy codes better than me, or they will think that this guy doesn't have any knowledge, why should I connect with him? But what I see in the world of software engineering, nobody knows nothing and nobody knows everything. It's every day you are learning something. Like I also myself, I've worked 10 more than 10 years in MNCs. Now also I've learned many things from n numbers of individuals. People those who are now coming to the industry, they are already aware of AI/ML, and they are already worked and learned in their college days. Which I was in the college, PHP was the bestest technology at that time. There was no React, and there was no Angular at them in my syllabus. We were learning with C and C++, but that's it. And the Python was just coming into the picture, into the companies at that time. So now I just look at the student, those who are in the college, they have got a very good leverage, and they have got this AI and everything. But what's the issue over here is they are completely depending on the AI and don't want to learn anything from the scratch. So just if you want, just start communicating with someone you want, and then you can do a project. And if I am free, for example, if I take leaves from my office for 3 days, 4 days, or 5 days, then I will be jumping into one of the project with you all, and then we can create a GitHub, and then from there we will fetch the repos and we can contribute from our side. So this will be a cool thing to do. And I'm looking ahead for you all to have a one great idea, and let's start working on that. And that's what we will be learning many things while doing a project, while doing a real world projects. Okay. Anything else? If any doubt regarding it, and don't worry about the GitHub and everything. I will be teaching that in the next to next live. Next live is completely about the MongoDB and how we can connect our APIs to MongoDB. Okay. Okay, let's check for the error. Okay, okay. Okay, so I've created the second put. Put is nothing but the update here. We want to update a individual student records. For example, if I try to update the Rahul's ID, so Rahul, so I need to get Rahul with its ID, which is nothing but in our school and college, it's a roll number itself. So I will get the Rahul with its ID. So that's why the decorator is put nothing but update, and the same endpoint, and slash student, because student ID, because we want to update one student at a time. And the function name I've given is update underscore student. Here we need to pass two things. First thing first, the ID itself, we need an ID. And the second is the class student itself, because that student class holds the structure of int course. Let me go to that class itself. Int string means ID, name, and course, and we can update the name and course itself. We won't allowing the end user with our API to update the ID. Then we are loading everything into the student. So I missed the S over here. That's why all the error is all about. Now it's fixed the error. Okay. So student, we have loaded everything into the student. Now the for loop. So I need two variables. One is I, second one is S. I'm just using your kind of variables. I never use this type of variable I, S, and everything. I just define num1, num2, and in job it is I've seen, and let me share one experience with you all. I think I was in Microsoft or in another company. Uh, there was one senior developer who used to use this type of variables, and it is very hard when you try to debug others code. It's very hard to identify what was this I, what was this s, if you are naming properly. For example, like my function name is update student, so it by default in English only it understand this API is used to update the student records, that's it. But if you are using is, so it is very difficult. Then you need to go each and every line and understand what is the purpose of INS. So make sure when you are on job, or else you are doing any project for yourself also, make sure you properly define the variable. Or else you have done the project, after 2 months you just go and revisit your project, you also not sure what is the INS doing over here. Okay, understand my point? That is a pain point in the real world, so make sure you don't become that pain point on the job, of course. So for INS, so already we have seen why we have used S, that is representing a student, and I over here is nothing but representing the particular ID data we want to update. For example, Raul's ID is 1, so I is 1, and we want to update Raul's data. That's why that I is holding that particular ID. We will see then below, and you will got those. What is enumerate do in Python? Just quickly comment that. I won't explain you. This is a little homework for you all. Self study. It's very easy, very function, inbuilt Python function. So just tell me what enumerates do over here. And it's nothing but it's going inside the student, and student is nothing but our this load student means our complete DB itself. So here we are checking if s.id equals to id, simply that we have already seen here. This is the same part here, or already we have seen here. We are doing that same thing again. So see, the programming is not that difficult. Once you understand the logic, it's the reuse of the same code again and again. We are checking that this id exists or not. If that exists, then we are saying something that student I, this is the I, this is the I. The student dot model dump means we are ultimately updating those value. For example, if that id match in the db means I want to update Raul's data and Raul's id is 1. If it exists means Raul's id exists, 1 equals to 1. This line 53 will check 1 equals to 1. If it exists, then we are saying student I, this I is holding all the data which we want to change. For example, we want to change Raul's name, we want to change the course Raul is interested, so we will be changing, and that I is holding that particular data. And then we are nothing but we are dumping those data, and we are calling the save student, and ultimately we are appending all the data into our db, which is student.json, and we are returning a message that saying student update. Okay, if not this id doesn't exist. For example, you are trying to check for update the id 100, and 100 equals to, it will check for 1, it will check for 2, it will check for 3, it will check for 4, because we have 4 ids in the db, and this is for loop, that's why it will check for 1 2 3 4. So that 100 id won't exist in our db, it will raise an exception 4 not 4, student not found. In our case it's student not found, because many of you have by-headed that 4 not 4 is page not found, but that is just displaying message. 404 means that data doesn't there. So data can be student, can be page, can be image, can be video, xyz. So let's save it and let's try to update few student records. Okay, we will do this with the help of Postman itself. So we already have a get, we already have a post. We will click on this plus sign, we will click here, we will have a put. Why put? Because we are updating. Also, if you check, we have created a put call itself. Update means put call, put HTTP call. Okay, so back to here, this will be the same. Our domain and our URL we have created for slash student, and we are changing for third ID. So if you're not sure who is third ID, let's come here and let's get it. So this is what I was talking about initially. We have already have the API, we don't need to go and check our DB again and again. We just click on and hit on the APIs. So I was not sure who was 3, so I come here and get the all the details of third ID, which is Nilesh and machine learning. So let's come on to the put call, and let's come onto the body, hit on raw, change this text to JSON because we have a JSON format, and then come here in the get, copy everything from here and let's paste it. I don't want to create it manually because I have everything. Okay. Sorry, my bad. I didn't saw. Okay, let me quickly go to the code. My bad, I haven't changed the screen. Again, I need to explain it. No, no worries, no worries, no worries. Sorry, my bad. Sorry for the inconvenience caused by myself. I had my face enlarged on the screen. Okay, let me quickly go through this again. So app.put is the decorator for update. In CRUD operation, U is for update, and for update, put is the decorator we use. Simply remember, if you want to update anything, you need to create a put call, and the API itself is same as the uh, this get ID, student by ID. So we get slash student and why ID, because we can update only one student at one time, and that's why we need to have the ID itself. And then update student, so this is the function we have. I have named it. Again, I'm just repeating myself, because you should name the function to make it easy to understand for yourself for future, or else if someone else is working on your code, they should get it in one go by reading the name of the function or the variables. Then I have passed two things. First thing first, we need the ID. The ID we can check that this ID we needs to update the data of this particular ID. And the student, because here we pass the student because we were creating new student, but here we are passing this class student which holds ID, name and course, because we want to update the name and course of that particular ID. That's why we require these two parameters. First is the ID to update the data of an individual ID, and the second one is what we want to update, the name we want to update, or to uh, the course we want to update, nothing else. And line number 51, student, I am just loading all the data as the student.json data into this variable. And for here I was talking about ins, so this for ins in enumerate, just comment what is enumerate, and this is your homework, what is enumerate does. The I is for the holding the records, and s is for the iterating and checking that ID exists or not. This is the two variable I've created, and that's what I was talking about, this two variable. Just have ins in a proper variable name, not an ins. So if s dot id means if I'm searching for one, so s1 equals to student dot id, that is there in our db. So 1 equals to 1, and it says it's there. And this student I will have, if I change the Rahul name or Rahul interested course, and then it will call student.model dump, and then we will save everything in student. The save function we have already created, we will be dumping json.dump in everything inside our student.json. That's it. Let me close our db also, and then after saving everything, we will return a message student dot update, simple. So if this id, this line number 53, if s100 equals to student id, so we have student id 1 2 3 4, we don't have 100. Why it will iterate 1 2 3 4? Because it is inside a for loop. So s100 is equals to 1, no. Equals to 2 3 4, no. So there is no id name as 100 in our db, so it will raise exception 404 student not found. I already explained 404 means data not found. So data can be your web page, can be a student, can be an image, can be anything. Okay, up till now it is clear. Now let's jump to the postman, and I will do everything from start. So I will be clicking on this plus sign. I will click on this put, because we have created a put HTTP request, which is nothing but update here. Okay, so I've clicked on the put. The URL will be the same here, HTTP, and this is our domain slash student, and ID will be 3. Now I'm not sure what 3 ID consists of, so then I will jump onto my get call, and I will be hitting 3 from here and getting all the data. Okay, ID 3 has name Nilesh and course machine learning. I will copy this output, come over your put call, click on the body, click on the raw, change this text to JSON, and here I will be pasting that complete body itself. Okay, this is up till now it is clear. up till now what I have done. So I want to update the course. I was interested in machine learning. Now I'm interested in AI. So let's say a dot I. Okay. And now I need to just hit send, and it says message student updated with a status code 200. Let's go to the get call, and again I hit the this id 3, and let's get the updated data. The course has been updated from machine learning to AI. Understood? Understood? If you want to get all the IDs and check, you just remove that 3 and just hit it. You will get the ID 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see for the third ID, it's changed the course from uh, machine learning to AI. Now let's now jump onto the put call, means update call again, and let's try to change the ID itself. Like in our case, Shashank has the 4 ID, so I just trying to update my fourth ID. Okay, I'm trying to update my fourth ID, and let's see what's the error is. It says it's updated. Let's go and let's search for third ID. What it says, student not found. Something went wrong. Let's have the complete ID session, and let's see there is 2 ID. Why? Because in our code we haven't applied any type of validator to check and revert that you can't update an ID. We have a simple code that update anything here. Do we have any type of validator, anything to stop user to update an ID? And that's what's the issue, because now in DB, if you see, there is 2 same roll numbers. So if I try to call 3, the data won't exist. But if I try to call 4, there will be 2 data associated with ID 4. So now let's see in Postman. Here in get call, if I try to call 3, it says it doesn't found because 3 ID is not there anymore. But if try to call 4, what will happen? If I try to call 4, it says Nilesh. But now what data we have lost? Shashank's data we have lost. It will never return Shashank's data over here because the ID 4 matches. Let me open the VS code. Here, the first ID 4 matches with my name, and it is giving us the first ID data. But this is now lost forever. Understood this? So now we need to have a validator to stop end user to update the ID. But before that, we will be seeing the delete call, and then we will be jumping onto the validator and everything. Meantime, if you have any doubt, just ask me in the comment section. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello. Okay. Let's jump onto the delete in the CRUD. The last one is the D stands for delete, and here the HTTP call is also known as delete itself. So let's jump onto the delete. Okay, delete is simply nothing but we want to delete a particular student records from our DB, only the particular student record, not the complete database. So again, we needs to have ID in place, because with the help of ID only we can identify what we try to delete, which student data we try to delete. So it's student and slash student underscore ID, and let's go and create a function. I will name that function as delete underscore student, and then let's pass the student ID again. That's what we are doing it, student underscore ID, and it is in a integer format. We have already seen it. Let's not forget the colon because it is a function. Then we need to load our DB. This we need to do for each and every APIs, because unless and until you load the data of your DB onto a variable, you can't perform anything. Okay, and then new, this is something new. This is list only. Inside a list, I'm doing some thing which Pythons provide us. So if you have already seen this, it's good. If not, I will explain you. Okay. And here I will check the ID itself, and then if not equals to student ID, done. Then if length, and hope up till now everything is clear. The update part is clear, the create part is clear, the get part is clear, get all, get with ID and everything is clear to you all. If not any doubt, you can ask me right here right now, and let's raise an exception over here, and the exception should be 404 student not found, because if someone tries to delete the student back, and let's save everything to DB now. So save, and we will call the save, and we will pass the new itself, and let's return. I will be explaining you the code. Let me just quickly complete the code, and let's say student deleted, because we are trying to delete the student deleted. Deleted. So we are done with the code. Let me quickly explain the code, and then we will jump onto the output itself. I've used a decorator delete. The incurred, the last part is d means delete, and here the HTTP call is delete itself. We don't want to delete the entire database. That's why we need to delete the particular student. We want to delete the particular student. For example, a student course has been done, and they have moved on to the job, so we can delete that particular student from the DB. For example, Priya has done the data science, and then Priya moved on in life and went to the job. She become a data scientist, so we need to delete the data of the Priya. So that's why we need the particular ID. So that's why the student underscore ID we have passed. Then we have created a function name delete underscore student, and here we need to take that ID, and it should be, here we are converting it into the integer, because the API and Python, they both work in string only. And then we are loading the entire database, and then this is line number 63 is the important part, but the rest I think it's the same code we are seeing again and again. So new, we are creating a new variable. On that variable we have created a list, and here S for S in student means ultimately everything will be storing in this S. For S in student means S is the iterable variable which will go inside this student, which holds all the data from our DB, and there we are checking if S dot ID not equals to student ID. If this ID is not equals to student ID, what does this mean? It's a simple statement. Just you all explain in chat what this means. If SID means 1 is not equals to student ID, which it's 1 or 2 or anything else, what happens? Okay, line number 63. Okay, then here line number 6, you will explain me what this line means. It's very basic Python. I will be jump on to 64. If length of new is equals to length of student, if this both lengths are equal, remember ultimately our student.json is a list, and this new we have created a list, and both of them length equals, they're both lengths equal, then raise an exception saying 404 student not found. Why? Means we have 4 student, and length of this new variable means that is our new list equals, then that student won't found. How this makes sense? If both of the list length same, we are saying that student not found. Why? It's very basic example. If you understand line number 63, you can answer why we are raising an 404 exception student not found. It's very easy. Meantime, I will continue, and then we are saving and updating the DB records with the new list. I'm name it as new only, so we are updating the list, and we are saying student deleted. If there is no exception, if there is no exception, if there is no exception, then we need to save our new list, and then say student deleted successfully. If you understand this, then only you will be able to answer why it is 4 not 4. Just say yes or no if you understand this line. Line number 63, if you understand. If not, say no, I will explain it to you word by word. Yes, no, quickly in the chat. Okay, he says he is back. Oh, you got it. Loop is completed and search not found will run. Okay, you are saying loop will completed and search not found. Search not found, then it will run. Okay. Okay, then what will new holds? What list new will hold? In this case, if you are saying in line number 64 and 65, we don't have a loop, we just simply have a if condition. The if condition is the length of new, means the length of new can be 5, the length of student can be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, anything can be the length of student and length of new. But we are saying if both of them length are same, raise an exception, 4 not 4, student not found. It simply means, let me simplify you. Student not found means the student ID which I want to delete. For example, like ID 100 I want to delete. That 100 ID student is not there in our DB. That's why we are raising 404 student not found. And how it is so? How it is so? That is the secret in this line number 63. Just say it yes or no in the comment and I will explain it to you all. If you're finding it easy, then okay, I will jump on to the next topic then. Let me open the live chat also. Meantime, in between, I just forgot to switch to live chat and my face was there in between. No. Okay, so you no means you didn't get it what that is all about. Let me explain you. So first thing first, others also I think won't get that. There is a simplification of that code, but I don't want that huge code to be inside my delete API. So first thing first, understand what new is. New is new list. This new keyword, let me change it to new list, new list itself. Now I will be using this variable. Okay, now done. Let's save it. So this new list ultimately will store the newly created list, and inside that list I'm doing certain operations. Inside that list I'm doing certain operation. What is the operation? It copies all the student records. It copies all the student records. I'm just getting a call on my phone. Okay. It will copy all the records of the student. How it will do it? Inside the list only. So this is the list. The condition is this S is the responsible to store everything inside the list. Means ultimately all the records will be stored in this S, in this list itself. Now let's focus on this for loop. This for loop is the same above we have already seen. S is the iterable variable for our student. What the student holds? Student hold nothing but our student.json. This is the thing our students data hold on line number 63. So S will go to inside student. It will iterate ID1, ID2, ID3, ID4. Okay. But at the same time, we have a if condition. At the same time, we have a if condition. So once the student S ID is 1. So S ID is 1 and we say it's not equals to student ID. Now what is this student ID? This student ID is nothing but we are asking from the user of this API that we are the only one the user of the API and we are passing /100 /2 /3 /1. So whatever we pass in this slash, the student ID comes here. Now let's focus on this. Because of this for loop, this SID initially it will 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. And our student ID, for example, in our case, it's 3. Let's take it's 3. So 1 is not equals to student, true or false? Yes or no? In the comment, 1 is not equals to 3. Yeah, we are taking 3. Of course, I will answer it. So let's pick this and I will come down here. I will break this down and hope everything is visible to you. I will break this down. First, I will break down this for loop for you all to be it easy, and then I will break down here. Let's have colon in place. Let's have colon in place, and this S means nothing but update. Update everything inside new list means this is our new list. Okay, now you understand this S will iterate the student means first S will be 1, S will be 2, S will be 3. Okay, and for our example, let's take student ID as 3. So I will comment over here as student ID equals to 3 means 1 is not equals to 3. This condition is true because I am using not. So 1 is not equals to 3. Yes, it is not equals to 3. So I am saying store all the records which is not equals to this ID into this S ultimately in the new list. So that means our new list hold first ID data because it is not equals to 3. Then for loop will run and again S will be 2 equals to student ID which is 3. So 2 is not equals to 3 in our case. Yes, it is not equals. Then I am saying update this new list and it also hold 2 data, 2 ID data, which is Priya and course uh, data science. Now it will S will become 3 and 3 is not equals to 3. Yes or no? Of course not. 3 is equals to 3, but we are saying 3 is not equals to 3 and this condition is false means it will skip this part. It will won't go inside this if condition. It will skip the updating of new list and it will jump and run again because we have the ID 4 and then it will come here and it says 4 ID is not equals to 4 and this is true and it will update the new list. Now the new list has ID 1, ID 2, ID 3. Remember this. Let's come on to our next line if condition. So here the new list length is 1, 2, 3 and initially length of the student we have 4 ID there. So length of the student is 1, 2, 3, 4. So length of the student and length of the new list is not equal. This is not equal means it doesn't satisfy the if condition, so it won't raise an exception. It will jump to line number 63 and update our student.json with new list. This is how we have successfully deleted ID 3 from here. Why? We have created our own list and that our own list which is new list. In this new list we are saying to skip the ID which matches the input ID of the API. Input ID of the API, if it is matches, skip that ID in this list. Rest each and every ID data should be there inside this list. In our case we have 1 over here, 2 over here, 4 over here, but 3 has been skipped. And then what we are doing on line number 66, we are forcefully updating our entire list. We are updating our entire list with new list data which is nothing but 1, 2 and 4. This is how we are deleting anything from DB. I hope now you all get it. Understood? If you say okay, if they both length matches, when the both length matches, if we are trying to search for 100, if it is 100, so 1 won't match, 2 won't match, 3 won't match, 4 won't match, all 4 won't match, this condition satisfy and all the 4 data will be stored in new list and the length will be equal. If the length is equal of the old list and the new list, the student is our old list and the new list is what we have created from the line number 66, the length matches. So if the length matches means if condition is satisfied and it jumps to the line number 65 and raise an exception that 404 student not found means the ID 100 student doesn't exist in our database. Hope this is clear. Now let's save it and jump on to the postman and see the working example. So this is our postman. Again, I will hit the plus sign, click on this get and click on the delete. Let's copy the domain, which is nothing but http://127.0.0, and slash student is our endpoint with the id 3, because I'm interested to delete the id 3. If I send it again, before deleting anything, just go and check the entire database with the help of get call. So let's retrieve everything from db. We have id 2, we have id 1, we have id 4 and 4 twice. We have two ids. So let me update this id from db. Let's do some cheating, but you won't do it. Okay, I won't do that cheating also. Let's try to delete priya's id. Let's delete priya id. I am just deleting priya id while saying that /2, and let's click on send. Nobody, nothing is required. And it says what type missing, this loc query student id message field required input and blah 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 everything, because the code we have done is we need to pass the complete body itself as raw over here. Let me remove this part. Okay, let's have it. It says that it requires the name and the course while time of deleting, but this is how I have created the apis. But in next scenario, we won't require this type of stuff to pass. We can directly delete the with the help of id itself. Okay, and let's send the data, and it should say, okay, what is missing? Okay, json. And let's send the data, and it will directly, let me quickly jump on my api students, and I have just wrote there student. Okay, done, and this is done. Student id is required. We have successfully passed the id. What else? Message null. Why it is sending as null? And it also generated unprocessable content for 422. So let's debug this. I love to generate the error. So now let's debug it. We got our first error and we need to debug it. Let's also check the terminal, because there is a server. So server should generate an error in the terminal. Let's open our terminal. This is our terminal where our server is executing it. And let's check the error itself over here. So it's basically says 422 unprocessable content. Now what we trying to do, this is the terminal itself. That's why the error is important, how to read the terminal, what the user were trying to deal. For example, you're working as a backend engineer, and the customer is using your api. Now they have faced some issue at their end. Now you need to debug it going through the logs. So this is the server logs, for just for an example. So what student for the logs, what end student was trying to, end user were trying to do, sorry for the student word. So end user were trying to delete student, and with the id 2 they were trying to delete student with the id 2, and they got 422 unprocessable content. As of now, we haven't created any type of log file or logs to be generated. That's why we only have this terminal, and it says 404 unprocessable content. Now why unprocessable content? What is the issue? We need to debug this, and that's what the problem solver, the debugger skills is required as a backend engineer. This is your real job is all about. So do we have any error in our code? No. If we, first thing first, how to debug it? First check any error in your code. If there was any error, your code won't execute. So we don't have any error because our code executes successfully. And we also try to get the apis, all the apis. So we have got those apis successfully. Now next, do we have correctly passed the /student? Let's go to the postman and check. This is the step I'm teaching you how to debug. Okay, we have passed students. Is id is required in a in our scenario with the delete id. So let's jump onto the code and check over here. Okay, we are using the delete, so delete is required. /student is required. /student id is required, which is 2. So this two things are required. Okay, what is the next thing is required? Do we require do we need to pass the full body or anything else? That is the ultimate thing we need to fix. Meantime, up till now, if you have any error or any doubt, you can ask me. If anything you're not getting in this delete or put or create means post or get, you can ask me right now, because after this I will be fixing this error, and then we will be seeing the delete. There will be a short recap and we will be winding off. So before winding off, I just want you all to uh, ask your doubt right here right now. And the error is very simple because it's already highlighting the error itself. It says message field required and this and that. Okay. How I identify those also I will be telling you. Unprocessable content, I will tell you how I identify those stuffs. Because that's what a software engineer needs to do. We needs to know what we have done wrong and how to fix it. Also make sure to check your code. This is a colon of the function. Okay, I have an if condition. This is indented, mean this raise exception is inside my if, and then this save is outside the if and return is outside everything. Okay, I can't see any doubt, means everything is clear to you all. So let's now fix the error. And first, let's understand the error. We have passed successfully right URL with the endpoint with /2 with delete, and we try to pass the body also. Let first remove the body. Let me copy and remove it and then pass it. Let's say if there is an error. Okay, there is an error. It says detail. Now what is the detail? Type missing. LOC query student ID is missing, and then it says message field required input null. So ultimately it says it requires the body. So let's have the body in place. We say ID2, name Priya, course data science. Is this the thing which is required? They are asking us yes or no if anyone got this. So it says type missing. LOC, leave the LOC part. It says query and student ID. The student ID is missing, but we are passing that student ID in the URL. Also, we are passing the student ID in the body. And message field required. So do we require a message field over here? We haven't seen any message field over here. Also in our delete app, we have a message field. If not, let me just quickly open that. See, here is the message field. But is there any error regarding that? This is your chance to debug this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines of code. It's simply 8 lines of code. Because might in interview they can ask you this type of questions. They will generate an error and they will give you a code and they will say in no time just debug it. Or else they will give you incomplete code and ask you to complete the code, and that's what the interview is all about. They will give you the incomplete code and ask you to complete it. Then what will you do? I just told you all the hints and everything given. Sir, change the endpoint name. Change the endpoint name to /students2. If you want to change the endpoint name, this is my endpoint name here or in Postman. If you want to change me this to student to what? Because we can't change it. The one thing is we are following that student, everything. If I have done any mistakes anywhere else, you can see. And I purposely done that mistake because you all to identify and just spam the comment section that you have done a mistake, you have done a mistake, and ultimately we will be facing those error, and we are facing that error. Okay, let me quickly show you the error I have done purposely. See, we are saying here student ID and we are saying everywhere student ID, student ID, student ID. and we are converting it into the integer. But while time of taking while time of taking it through the API, I'm saying student's ID. So this S is one extra part over here. This S is one extra part. Encode another name in place of student, because in many places you use same name. Naming doesn't matter, my friend, because this is completely different decorator and different function. Here it, if that is a scenario, why that slash student works in put, why that slash student works in post, why that slash student is working in get, also the same slash student works in all, get all the student. Understood? The issue was the parameter that I have used was student ID, and here I passed students underscore ID. That was the purposely made mistake, for because I want to generate an error, because if you won't generate an error, you won't get how to debug an API in real time. Okay, now if you save it, let's let it reload and everything and reshut in application startups. Now if we go here and if we hit the API, you will see the message student deleted successfully with a status code 200. Let's jump on to our get call and just make a send request, and you can see 1, 4 and 4, but you aren't able to see the Priya's ID. So the mistake was that S, it didn't match this, didn't match with our line number 61 variable. This is nothing but a parameter, and that is nothing but the query. That is nothing but a query. So let me make the mistake again, and I will make you now understand what was the error actually it was highlighting me. Okay, so I've just added this, and let's try to delete ID 4, because 2 is already been deleted. If you ask for 2, it will say something else. So it's now it says missing that. Let's understand this, and it already is saying query and the student ID. It's highlighting the error. It's saying query this for anything else you pass in the endpoint. Let me open the code itself. Anything you pass in the endpoint, for example, the endpoint is slash student. After the slash student, this is known as query in the URL. It can be a name, it can be a ID, it can be anything else. This is known as query. That's why the postman is giving us the error saying query, and which query attribute it's addressing. It's addressing student ID. It says student ID, and there we have S, student's ID. That's what the error. And ultimately reading the postman thing, I just found out that I made a mistake, but that I purposely made it to make you all learn. While time of coding, you also can make this type of mistake. So simply just make sure what you declare over here, you passed over here also. Okay, now let's jump onto the postman and try to delete ID2 once again. We have already deleted ID2, but let's see what's the error or what the message comes up. See, it says 404 student not found, because we have already deleted the ID2 student, which is Priya, and the course or the Priya was data science. So that's why it says 404 Priya not found. Okay, and this is all about the CRUD: create, read, update, and delete. In API language, it's the get call, post call, update call, and put call. And in the next life, we will be learning two most important things. So let me jump onto the code. The code here doesn't have any type of validator. In code, we doesn't have any type of validator here. For example, we can update the IDs also. In live only, we have just updated my ID from 3 to 4. Now Shashank and my IDs 4 and 4. If we try to delete the ID 4, Shashank's data and my data will completely will be lost. So we need to have a validator over here that nobody can update their IDs, and of course nobody can also pass their ID. So we will be changing this code, and we will have some logical code that if new student is being created, they need to just pass their name, and they need to just pass their interested course, and ID will be automatically assigning to them. Understood this? and then they can't update their ID while time of using the put call. Okay, this will be our next uh, to-do list. And of course, after doing those two changes in the same code, we will be changing our student.json completely into MongoDB, and in MongoDB we will be doing same. We will adding the data to the MongoDB, we will retrieving the data from MongoDB, we will updating the data from MongoDB, we will deleting the data to and from MongoDB. Of course, the next live is uh, important as of this live, because now we are leading from being a basic Python developer to a backend engineer in Python. We have created the APIs, we have learned what is API, we have learned what is fast API, which is trending, and most of the MNCs are now asking for the fast API. Of course, we have worked with the local server and local DB. Now with the local server and our code, we will be moving to the changing of our local DB to MongoDB. Okay, so up till now, is there any doubt? If yes, just comment in the live chat and I will be clearing those doubt. And let's have a very small quick recap of what we have learned today. Okay, so first thing first, we have installed the fast API with its UV cron server, which is a local server, and then we have created our own student.json file, and then we have loaded the JSON file on F, and then we have created our basic first decorator and get HTTP call, and there we are just simply printing the welcome to code with nm. It's nothing but slash is nothing but your domain. In our case, in localhost is 127.0.0.1:8000. The port is 8000. And first thing first, we have created slash student. MongoDB is different from MySQL. Yes, of course it is different. MySQL is a how I can say, so MongoDB is also known as NoSQL database, and MySQL is a SQL database. There is a huge difference because it's work on a MySQL works on a schema, and in MongoDB you can create your own stuff. I will explain you on that, like what is a major difference between the MySQL, and which is known as SQL, and MongoDB. But remember this, MongoDB is no relational database. It's known as NoSQL DB. Okay. I don't want to get into that. That is a huge debatable topic, but it's true. In interview also, they will ask you, just give a few example of NoSQL DB. So MongoDB is the first one out of that. Okay. And the second thing, we created our slash student, and slash student will get us all the student which is there in our student.json in our local DB. Then if we are only interested in a one individual student, so we can get it with the help of their IDs. And then we have created the create call, which is nothing but the post call, and we are creating a new student and saving into the DB with the help of this few 6-7 lines of code. And then if we have made mistake while time of creating those student, so we can append, means update the data, which is the put call in the API world, HTTP world. So with the help of put call, we can update the data of the student. In our case, we are also updating the student ID, but this should not be possible. So in the next live, first thing first, we will doing that. While time of creating the student do not need to provide their ID. It's our code will be providing the new ID to them ultimately, and while time of updating, they only need to update their name and their interested course. Okay. PDF code, of course, after the live, I will be creating the complete explanation and everything of the code, and we will be sharing the code as well as the PDF with you all in Discord. So let me, is a good time to show the Discord to you all and why it is important. So this is my Discord, and here in the welcome channel, you just all be welcoming. I just welcoming you all, and after being welcome, you won't have access to everything. So you need to introduce yourself in the introduction, and after introducing yourself, you will get access to everything. And here is the announcement before going any live or any update. For example, like this live was planned for yesterday, and due to the heavy rain in my area, there was a power outage, and unfortunately I wasn't able to go live. So I just provide that update before 100 here only. And the session nodes, if you jump onto the session nodes, you will be getting all the PDFs and everything of my every live with the full explanation and everything. in a PDF format, so it is accessible to uh, on your mobile device, computer or laptop, anywhere. And that there is a doubt corner. You can ask your doubts and everything here. Code sharing, resources, general, you can have all the discussion over here. Like we already have Shashank and I can see the Trishan, everyone is asking that doubt and general discussion over here, and we have a very good coding section and coding exercise over here. After that, I release when in progress, I release a few codes over here, and this should be a dry run in your mind. For example, this is question 1, and you should dry run. You won't be using a Python compiler or Python and copy pasting this code. You should see the code and then understand the code, and then just select the answer which is appropriate over here. And like in this format, you need to provide that 1b, 2c, 3c your answer. Okay. This is the win in progress. This is the best practice you can do for yourself. And of course, I will be also posting the weekly challenge. Here in the weekly challenge, I will be giving you all a problem statement, which is an English written statement. And this is very important because in interview you will be getting an English written statement, and you need to create your own algorithm, your own code, your own solution to them. So this is a problem statement, and you need to how the output is required is also given here. So you need to code it, and with your code and output, you need to provide the screenshot in this challenge submission group. So weekly challenge, you can see the challenges, read the challenges, you can code in your VS Code, and with the output you need to submit the submission over here. So this is how you will be learning Python. You will getting the session notes, you will be dry running the codes which I will be providing to you, and of course you will be have the hands-on knowledge. And then ultimately, once this is all done, you can go to the codewithnm/quizzes, and there you can give the quiz in a MCQ format, that there is a 1 question and 4 answer. Because before jumping into the interview, you will be giving a mock interview, and after your mock interview is clear, then only you will be getting a call from the HR that your first round is been scheduled. And in your first round, you will be answering this type of questions, like there a problem statement, just open your VS Code or whatsoever and code it. Okay, so this is a complete format and ecosystem. That's why I created Discord for you, because I have worked in a market from so many years. I know how the hiring process works, how the interview is done, so I can just share my knowledge to you all. I'm not sure what other YouTubers are doing, but this is a right way to guide anyone, the ultimate thing. And of course, you can connect with me here offline also, because I have Discord in my mobile phone, so it is possible for me to reply you all whenever I'm online. Of course, when I'm sleeping, I can't reply you, because I've seen people are just pinging me at 2:30, 1:30 a.m. at Indian time zone IST. So it's not possible. I'm sleeping that time. I wake up at 5:30 in morning. So after waking up, it's at 6 o'clock, I start replying to you all. So make sure you just message me within the from morning 9 up till 10 and 11. Because waking up at night, I'm not sure what you all are doing. Just take a good sleep and take rest, and just wake up at 6 or 7 and just start your Python journey and learning and whatsoever you want to do in your life. So that's what I've created the Discord. So this is very much important. Of course, Discord is free. Learning YouTube is free. Everything is free. You just need to invest your time, your confidence to be a Python developer or whatsoever you want to be. Because have a proper roadmap from a Python developer to a data analyst to data science and ML and AI engineer to creating an LLM apps. And what are the LLM apps? It's nothing but the GPT, the Gemini, and everything are nothing but LLM apps. Okay, so this is I'm on a roadmap to make you a market ready software engineer. MongoDB stores data in document JSON. MySQL stores data in tabular rows and formats. Of course, of course. You are quite intelligent, and yeah, that's the appropriate and right answer. But in detail, why is this so? I will be explaining you in my next live, which will be on two things: the continuation of the fast API, because we need to have a proper validator in all those APIs, and then MongoDB. The third will be we will be seeing the auth tokens, the JWE tokens, and that token is the a lock-in key over the APIs, that nobody will try to access or use your public APIs. That's why you have a lock and you provide the key to individuals or a particular person that you want them to access your API. That's how the paid API is there in the market. You pay for a certain services, you get the API with the key. Okay. So this was the complete thing about the fast API. We have learned about the CRUD. Any doubt, anything else, you can just ping in the comment right away. I will wait for 2 minutes, and if not, then we can wind up the session. But make sure you subscribe the Code with NM and join the Discord community. Subscribing is free. Learning from YouTube is free. Learning from Code with NM is free. Learning from me is ultimately free only. So if you're not paying anything, you're investing your time for your benefit. People think money is the ultimate thing. No, money is the ultimate thing when that money works for you. If you are working for the money, money is not ultimate thing. If you are working 9 to 6 and running behind the money, then you are working for money. If that money is working for yourself, like the people who are rich in the world, their money is working for themselves. That's what they have now time to invest in other things. So right now, if we don't have money, if we don't have anything, we have time. So invest your time to learn some skill set. After you learn that skill set, invest that skill set into earn money, and after earning that money, invest that money to get time. So initially you invest time, ultimately after earning money, you are earning time, because time is the most important thing. Once time gone, you can't be 9 years old, 10 years old again. You can't enjoy that life. To enjoy that life, you need to have money. To have money, you need to have skill set. To have that skill set, you need to invest your right now time into learning this thing. That's why I make education free. I believe learning things should be free. So this is the free Discord. It free, but my time goes behind this to create projects, to create everything, to reply Discord. I invest much more time behind this, because I love you all. I love you all. I love to teach. I'm teaching from last more than 13 years offline, and just I'm took YouTube seriously and start making videos that people should learn, because I teach offline and I teach in multiple classes. Now I want that not only the student of learners of Mumbai should get this knowledge. I just want to expand my knowledge to globally, that people out there, those who are needy, those who can't pay the fees, or those who don't want to pay the fees for learning things, they can learn free from anywhere, anytime, and from Code with NM. Okay, let me just also post the Discord link here quickly. Set this to never expire, and let's have, this is my Discord link, and of course you can also have Code with NM, and here the quiz part. So you need, if you are interested, go to the Code with NM, just try to attempt this quiz. This will also increase your uh, confidence for the interview, because this is how the mock test is being done on the Code with NM slash quizzes. I have all the modules and everything you need to attempt, and then the other rest of the part is in the Discord. Okay, so now there is no doubt. I can see in the comment section everything is clear for you all in today's life. So let's wind it off, and I think it's more than 3 hours of this live today, because also the topic was very important, and make sure the other live is also will be more than 2 hours, because the MongoDB and the APIs validator, and the third live will be the most important, that everything is there in a local system. If something happens to your laptop or computer, then your source code is gone. That's why the GitHub comes into the picture. So the third live will be about the GitHub itself, and then ultimately we will be doing a real world project, and we will utilizing from phase 1 Python knowledge up till phase 3 and doing it, and I will be sharing all the source code and everything with you all, and then we are done with the Python developer. Then after learning everything, you can call yourself a Python backend. Okay, from last 3 hours I'm speaking constantly. My voice is being sorry for that. Build one RAG project, of course. If you're interested in RAG, I will be building that. but again, if it should be understandable to the people who are new to the Python and everything. Okay. Okay, if there is no doubt, I will be winding off. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to make you market ready software engineer and code with precision, ship with vision, and subscribe now to join the mission. Till then, see you in the next live. Bye. Tell me roadmap for rack. I will be. Yeah, I've seen you have joined the Discord. I will be pinging you on the Discord for the roadmap for the rack. Yeah. Sorry for not replying you in the live itself, because I'm speaking for non-stop from last 3 hours. I just need a 2 minutes break. Let's connect on the Discord offline, and all your queries and everything I will be answering them. And I'm very active on the Discord, so don't think like that you have just ping me on the Discord and you will be getting a reply for more than 1 or 2 days. You can ask all those who are there. I just ping there right away. Okay, I just need a break from last 3 hours. I'm constantly speaking, so my throat is swallow up. I just need water also. Yeah. Okay, I'm ending this live. Anything else, we can connect offline on the Discord. Okay. Okay. Take care, everybody, and happy Sunday and happy learning. Bye.